All right. Well, we are having technical difficulties, and we hope we have fixed them. But there is no guarantee. After we had 0 issues last night, Josh, we have lots of issues tonight. So we apologize. Not sure what's going on. Andrew mentions that running the clips is an issue for the computer. It shouldn't be. We have a pretty upgraded computer, and we did it all last night. So the fact that it's happening right now is pretty annoying. We're gonna try and make sure it doesn't happen again, though.
Right. To your point, to your point, we had literally more highlights than what we've done tonight, and it did not have an issue. So I don't know. Go figure. But we're back. Hopefully, third time's the charm.
All right. It's Jalen Polk is the selection for the Patriots, putting the Tennessee Titans on the clock, and so we are going to keep an eye on that and see how it goes. Yeah, I mean, where people are talking, we ran 3+ hours last night, and so it really shouldn't be a problem. But here we are.
Yep, should not be an issue. Maybe just ironing out some kinks. So
it'd be nice. It'd be nice if we were ironing out some kinks. The kinks don't seem to be getting as ironed out as I would like, though. So we're trying to figure things out. But we are back right now. And we appreciate you guys hanging with us. Here's Jimmy John Joker jumping in here with the 10. Love the video, guys. We're starting round 2. We trade up for another defensive weapon. I always find the gems of round 2. Had to pick one player. Who would it be? Hit the like button, or they'll do it again and blame it on amateur streamer Josh is the comment here. There you go. Yep, we are trying to make sure we're good to go, and people are starting to come back in, which is good right here. So the Tennessee Titans are on the clock right now as we are waiting on pick 38. We missed the Commanders taking a defensive tackle, and Jalen Polk becoming a New England Patriot. So they get a receiver. One of the many Washington receivers is off the board, Josh, and I think that we're rolling now. People are saying, I think we're back. I think we're back. I hope we're back. We'll see.
Yes. All right. Appreciate everybody. If you haven't already, hit the like button.
Ridiculous.
Do us a favor. Get us back to the 2,000 that we were at. But it's how it goes sometimes, I suppose. If this is what it took to get Edgerrin Cooper, I'll be fine. We'll live.
All right. We're going to wait on the pick. Let's just make sure that nothing else has happened here. Steven Angel, actually the first time watching the draft from start to finish. Thanks to you guys. You both are great. By drafting DeJean and turning him into a safety corner. Cooper DeJean is still on the board, Josh. That seems to be a little bit surprising. Pretty crazy that he is still available at 38 with Philadelphia being 12 picks away. I mean, he's got to go soon, right? I mean, it's got to be very, very soon.
Surely, yes. I mean, I'm shocked, like you say, the fact that he's still there. But you can't imagine that he's going to last much longer. I mean, I don't know of anyone that thought he would still be available at this point. I know that Jer'Zhan Newton's a good pick. You got some guys that are slipping, but if you want the guy who has athleticism, creates plays, makes turnovers, Cooper DeJean is surely going to fall soon.
All right, the pick is now in for the Tennessee Titans, meaning Carolina is about to be on the clock. I'm waiting for confirmation on where the Carolina or the Tennessee Titans are going. I believe it is a defensive tackle. I think it's T'Vondre Sweat from the University of Texas, but I am not confirming that yet, Josh. So we are keeping an eye to see if we can have that official. It is T'Vondre Sweat. Byron Murphy's running mate at UT is officially a Tennessee Titan, and that means that we can go ahead and put the Carolina Panthers on the clock for the first time here in round 2.
Okay, there you go. It's a solid pick. I mean, I like that one. You got a guy who's could be a game wrecker of a sense, lots of size and athleticism strength there in the D-line. Moving fairly quick. I know that it's 7 minutes versus 10, but
it feels like
we've been knocked off and on, so we're kind of just surviving. But yeah, it is going faster.
All right. Let's see here. All right, so we are back on track. We're back on track. Are we done messing around? Yeah, I think we're done turning it on and off now, Josh. We're about to get our 1,000 people back. We appreciate you guys jumping back in here. But the Tennessee Titans pick is in, and we have the Carolina Panthers, who are on the clock right now. And so we should be good to go here.
There you go. Rude too fast. Yeah, we're back. We're back for now.
Trying.
Hopefully that
we're
stays.
Trying. We are gonna see. We are gonna see. All right, so we're on pick 38. Philadelphia up in 12 picks here. If you're coming back in, hit the like button. That helps us kind of gain back our rankings on where we were on YouTube. So if you're just joining us, we were rolling with almost 2,500 people there, and then we had our first crash. So if you're coming back there, thumbs up. We'd appreciate that. Help the stream kind of grow back up. We're over 1,000 though right now, which is good.
Yes. Appreciate all you guys sticking with us, even though we've got some issues. The fact that we have, I mean, you know, again, we're getting closer. The fact that Edgerrin Cooper has not come off the board. You got Cooper DeJean, you got some options, and we're getting closer to an Eagles pick. Just saying, we like that. That's a good scenario.
All right, well, we continue to go ahead and wait for the Carolina Panther pick. They are just now selecting the Tennessee Titan pick, which is obviously Sweat, the defensive tackle out of the University of Texas. So that one went ahead and came up. And we are waiting to see who the Carolina Panthers are going to go for. And we're watching people. Dre the second. Come on, fellas, let's keep up. We're trying. Hey, guys, what's up, Tad Bauer? Welcome into the chat. We're back until someone's about to make a pick. Yeah, well, we're not going to have that happen anymore. It's lasted longer this time than it has the past two, so I think the stream has officially evened itself out here. I think we are good to go.
Yes, we're fingers crossed, knock on wood, we didn't just jinx it. But yes, it's so far we're lasting longer than we had in the past. But shout out to Josh B. Like that first name. Welcome to Let's Run It tier. Heck yeah, bro.
There you go.
Also got Mike Patota. I think I said that last name correctly. Also, Let's Run It.
Jordan Black says, is this live? Yes, this is live. Yes, we are 100% live right now as Tennessee has officially made their pick. It is T'Vondre Sweat, the defensive tackle out of Texas. And now we are waiting for the Carolina Panther pick as they are officially on the clock, having taken Xavier Legette at number 32 at the end of round 1 last night.
Where are they going to go? It's a question of if you're Carolina, do you go with another potential, I don't know, do you go with another potential weapon, or you look at trying to get an offensive lineman, some protection? Bryce Young could certainly use it.
Oh, we have a trade, and we can go ahead and make sure that the Rams have now come up. So let me figure out where my Ram logo is here, because I've been completely thrown off. Mm-hmm. But the Rams are now on the clock. There has been a trade. Where is the Rams? There we go. And so the Rams went ahead and threw the pick in as well. And the Rams are taking Florida State defensive tackle Braden Fiskey at number 39. So the pick is in for the Rams, and it's going to be Fiskey going to Los Angeles at 39. So a little run on defensive tackles, Josh, right now.
Okay. I like that. That's a solid pick. I mean, especially, you know, everyone knows you lose Aaron Donald, so it's not like you're saying this is your replacement for him, but a replacement by aggregate or kind of combine of a bunch of different guys. There's a lot to like in that. 6'5", 297. Had pretty solid in terms of pass rush win rate for a interior defensive lineman. Good in the run. Overall, I mean, pretty solid. Plays with a very high motor. Anyone who's watched his game knows that. But yeah, I like this. Not too bad of a pick for LA. I like it personally for Philly because, you know, we have a guy that's or not a position that we really would hope for at this next coming pick that goes off the board. So all good.
Carolina is going to get number 52 overall from the Rams. They're going to get a 5th and a 2025 second-round draft pick. So if you're wondering the price to move up, it is quite a bit. And so the pick, again, officially in for the Rams as they are going to go defensive tackle as well. And the defensive tackle run is getting pretty crazy. Here's Tad Bauer. Bang, bang, guys. Big fan. We appreciate that, Tad. Appreciate the 1,400 people locking back in following our triple technical difficulties. But we are back and running. It seems to be good to go as the Rams have made another selection. So we are rocking and rolling. And with the Rams pick, that means the Washington Commanders are now officially back on the board, Josh.
Heck yeah. Let's see. Where are they going to go? Oh, by the way, Jason, I see your message. He said that he sent me a message on Instagram. I'm not great about checking it, but I will check it. I will check it. Got to get you the neon sign. And also
Yep.
saw a question about the jersey giveaways. We are going to do that. We've got an announcement for the winner that we'll get to in a little bit for the NFL Draft League, and then also jersey giveaway on the random spinner and the comment giveaway and all that. So that will happen. All good.
And I got, I'm going to be replying to the hat email. I got my hat email to ship away my hat probably tomorrow. So we are there as well. No potty break, says Ace J, until Philly gets the picks. Hey, I'm feeling good right now, and we're about 10 picks away. So I have no issue waiting here right now as we continue to wait and see what is going to happen with
the issues that we had.
Pick.
I may just use this if I even need to. So we're good.
Trade up. The Eagles are on the clock. The Eagles have traded up.
I see that. Oh baby.
My goodness.
Who is this? Who do you trade up for?
Oh, this has got to be Cooper DeJean, right? It's got to be. You think it's Cooper DeJean?
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine if you load up the secondary of a Cooper DeJean and a Quinyon Mitchell? Who is this going to be?
Well, and how about the Washington Commanders being willing to trade out of this spot, too? That's pretty big, huh?
Yeah, I want to see what the compensation is to be able to trade that, honestly, because, yeah, it's like how much do you have to give up to do that, especially with a division rival? You know, they don't want to see you get great talent.
The pick is in for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Refresh, come on, refresh.
So we are going to see who it is going to be. Oh, man, it's going to be very interesting. Hang on, let's see. Let's see. I got to know who it is. Oh, my goodness. It is Cooper DeJean.
Let's go.
Wow, they got both of them.
My gosh.
Wow.
The secondary is stacked.
Holy cow. They traded 50, 53, and 161. So they gave up 53. That shows you how badly they wanted Cooper DeJean. Oh, my goodness. Wow. And the Eagles' night ends pretty quickly there at number 40, huh?
Oh, my gosh. That's insane. We talked about you have that player that can be, especially Fangio loves his athletes. He loves his playmakers, guys who could be in different positions. Get a Cooper DeJean. Steven says the great white hope, but like you get a player who can do corner. He's got versatility. You can put him in the slot. You can move him back to safety. He can be in the box. He's a good tackler, physicality. This is, oh my gosh. I mean, you talk about players who can come in, make an impact from day one. Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, they also both can significantly contribute on special teams. So you can't discount that also. Wow. Love the selection. Interesting the trade value there. I mean, that's the only part. Yeah, you kind of you do have to give up quite a bit.
By Edgerrin Cooper, you know?
If it's a Cooper DeJean, I'm talking myself into it because, again, I was beforehand saying, it doesn't seem like it's going to be as likely. But, okay.
Wow. Okay, this very clearly is Philadelphia thinking he was not going to fall. And they waited for 33 and 34 and 35. And I mean, 40, the guy's still there. And they jump ahead of the Green Bay Packers at 41. They were rumored to be interested in Cooper DeJean as well. And they grab someone who we were saying was going to be the perfect pick at 22 overall. The hybrid player who can play outside, inside, safety, in the box. He comes to Philadelphia. This is quite the pick. This is quite the pick.
Yep. And also, I mean, we're not done, you know, again. So it's like we got to wait, but
sure.
We still got 78. You know, you still get something in the third round, which I'm all right with that personally because we didn't have a third round pick. So you get rid of 2 seconds, you trade up in the second, but now we get a third round pick at 78. Yeah, we won't get Edgerrin Cooper. There's a very slight chance, probably unlikely, but a slight chance of Junior Colson, you know, so you can get your next best option at linebacker, or you go maybe offense finally at that position. But I'm going to say, again, like to get that type of a guy like a Cooper DeJean, and he feels like, you know, I mean, Howie mentions it a lot, the red star players, the guys that he has specifically designated as like those are guys, and Sidney Brown is one of them from last year, but the guys that are not only like making the plays that you want to see on the field, but they show that leadership. They have those intangibles, if you will, the leadership skills and all that. Cooper DeJean is one of those red star players. He is going to be that for the Eagles. I think it just adds to the part of what Ryan's saying, the new Legion of Boom. Sure, I'll take that. Take the new Legion of Boom. There's a lot to live up to, so let's not maybe get overhyped on the sense. However, how he said, let's get younger on defense, and he's not only said it, but he's backed it up, proved it with these draft picks and with the capital given up to go get him.
Wow, it really is quite the selection here for Philadelphia to go ahead and grab. I mean, I did not expect them to move up and get a guy like this. I mean, truly a wild thing to go ahead and do, but they get Cooper DeJean, who, I mean, again, and I'm going to try to put a little bit of a highlight here, but I'm going to do it a different way, Josh, so no need to worry, but they find a way to get someone who was supposed to be a first-round draft pick, and now he comes to Philadelphia and gives you even more depth in a secondary that is pretty darn loaded right now.
I mean, I like this move. I see some comments, totally understand questions of, hey, what did we give up? We gave up 50, 53, and 161 to move up there. Well, you get 40 and 78. So I like this move. You got the BG announcing that move.
There you go. Yeah, he is. And I think he's going to like it a lot, too. He's going to like it. Cooper DeJean. Wow. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And that, of course, continues to mean that the Green Bay Packers are on the clock. We're going to keep an eye on that one. Let's go, says Steven Angel with the 2, excuse me. And then, of course, Ryan, he says, DeJean, love, bye-bye Bradbury. Yeah, if there was ever an idea that James Bradbury is not going to play down in Philadelphia this year, we are basically in that territory right now. Cooper DeJean is a Philadelphia Eagle. That is crazy. I wonder what BG's going to say about it.
Yeah.
Wow. Was DeJean at the draft, or is he home? I think he was home.
He is
home. There he is. Wow.
With the Iowa contingent there with a lot
Look
of
at them all.
Looks like so
they are loaded up, huh?
Headed to Philly, baby. Congrats,
How about that?
Cooper DeJean.
I'm glad that the broadcast was working for the Cooper DeJean pick. You gotta like that.
Can you imagine?
Gotta like that.
Like, oh, we just traded up. And we're not actually live.
I know.
Ooh, okay, so we made it. We got him.
And they do get the third-round draft pick back. That was a big key factor in all of this. So obviously important to go ahead and note that Philadelphia will have a third-round pick. That's why they gave away 53 with this draft pick as well. And so it makes a lot of sense for the Birds. And they do something they have not done since 2002, and that is take 2 secondary players in the first 2 rounds. Green Bay has traded their draft pick, and they have traded their draft pick to the New Orleans Saints. And so the Saints are now on the clock. They got Talisi Fuaga from Oregon State in round 1. And so we're going to keep an eye on exactly who this is going to be. But we had a trade, and now the Saints are on the clock.
All right, there you go. That's yes, I'm seeing a lot of comments here too. Also, like, hey, didn't you mock Cooper or as far Edgerrin Cooper? Thoughts on that? Yeah, you had a lot to give up. It's a move, and naturally, if you're Washington, you're not letting Eagles move up very easily to make that position. But I think it makes sense. Again, the fact that we're not done tonight. If all of a sudden we said, cool, we got our guy, let's pack it up, no picks left tonight, then I think, of course, everyone look at it and go, cool, we got Cooper DeJean, but are you serious? We got to wait till day 3 now? You still have one more option at least at 78, and we'll see. Like, does Howie trade up even again, and go get his guy? He didn't do it in the first round, so that means it's likely we're going to get some movement on that side, whether it is a trade up or trade back, get some more picks. You and I have talked about it, like, ad nauseum at this point, but, like, there's lots of value in that 70 to 120 range. And so you trade back to 78, you get your eye on Cooper DeJean, and now you have options. You could take an offensive tackle. You could take a linebacker. You could take a wide receiver like Johnny Wilson, Malachi Corley could potentially be in that range. So I like a lot of the different options. You give yourself outs in a sense if you're Howie Roseman. I'm not going to lie, and everybody's, mentioning it in the comments. Yeah, my personal preference would have been Edgerrin Cooper, and I'm kind of throwing that off the board saying that's not possible. But also to say at the end of the day, I mean, you've got 2 first-round talents without having to trade up in that scenario in the first round. And then you trade up, but you're still able to pick a selection in the second and the third round. Your first two picks are first round talents in a Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. So you bolster the secondary without a doubt.
Kool-Aid McKinstry is a New Orleans Saint. That has just happened. Puts the Houston Texans on the clock. You see the updated picks that are scrolling across the board right now. Yes, we did get Cooper DeJean. For those who are just joining us, the Philadelphia Eagles have gone cornerback, but DeJean, we've mentioned it many, many times. He's a little different than just your typical cornerback because he can play everywhere and also return kicks. That's a key point that not a lot of people wanted to point out. Mel Kiper just did in the ESPN broadcast. They now have a secondary that includes T.J. Gardner-Johnson, that has Darius Slay. For now, James Bradbury. You have third-round draft pick last year in Kelee Ringo. You get Zach McPherson back from injury. They get Isaiah Rodgers back from suspension. What was once a very bleak, very, very bleak defensive secondary turns into one of the, if not the strongest position group in the league, and it's very similar to what Philadelphia did when they missed on all those wide receivers in the middle of the 2010s, 2016, 17, 18. They overcompensate, and now we have a plethora of great wide receivers. They're doing that now. They're course-correcting and getting defensive backs, Josh.
It's a great move, and to your point, yes, you're course-correcting. You're learning from mistakes. I love it, quite honestly. Like, there's some disbelief, or I guess there's some, surprise, because Howie does talk about it, but I was curious of like, how much is he going to about face? How much will he legit invest in the secondary? But again, to your point, he's doing it. And so, I mean, kudos for him for taking ownership of it and going, you know what? We are old in this position. We got Darius Slay at 33. We got James Bradbury, who, like you also said earlier, should just go ahead and pack his bags. He's on the move. He's going to get cut. Something's going to happen there. But yeah, you've added a lot of depth, and you've gotten so much younger at this point.
You see the highlights there from his time, obviously, with Iowa. There was some concerns of a broken leg. That very much cleared up during his pro day. He is 100% ready to go. He says he's ready to go for any sort of offseason training activities, rookie minicamp as well. They are ready to rock with Cooper DeJean in Philadelphia. And they get, again, not just their favorite cornerback in this draft. They probably got their two favorite cornerbacks in this draft, and they got a first-round draft pick on what is going to be an even cheaper rookie deal here at 40, and they still have a third-round draft pick, which they originally did not have, and that gives them the chance to go get a linebacker, an offensive lineman. There's a plethora of things that are going to go to happen for the Philadelphia Eagles, which is really, really good news. The Houston Texans have taken Kamari Lassiter. He is off the board, the cornerback out of Georgia. And so with the Texans pick, that puts the Cardinals back on the clock now. And we got to get to a couple of super chats that are happening. Let Howie cook, says Justin, with the 10. He's cooking. I mean, he is 100% cooking. Alex Santana says we're under the impression DeJean will play safety since we have Mitchell. I think he will. That's my guess, but I think they're just going to move him around. It depends on if you're in your base package or dime package. Can he be in as a nickel cornerback at times? Yes, 100%. They're going to move him around the football field, and he's going to earn as much playing time as he wants to earn. They're not going to be able to keep this guy at the football field, though, Josh. I think you're going to see him out there a lot.
For sure. And even also special teams, we talked about it, right? I mean, whether it's going to be just a gunner, whether he's a potential of a spell, we like Covey, and he did plenty well, so he's kind of got the job under wraps, but you look at potential of even, being the second backup option of that, makes a whole lot of sense. He will play a ton, to your point. They're not going to keep him off the field. He is a football player. I don't know of a better way to describe. His position is he's a football player. He makes plays. He's impactful. He's an athlete. Love it for the number of reasons. And again, I mean, if you go like 3 high safety look, you could throw him out there. If you want to go in a different base of having one linebacker situation, a dime, like there's so many options. And also too, he can play slot with Avonte Maddox. Who knows how long he's able to play, stay healthy. Isaiah Rodgers coming back. It's just crazy how quickly we can go from, hey, the secondary is an issue, to I quite honestly, you could say, all right, there's some depth. Like there's a couple different options, a couple different ways you could go here, just 2 draft picks. And I think that's a phenomenal part. Like Justin said, let Howie cook. I mean, right on. That's exactly what you want to do. Also, shout out to Way Truth Life gifting 5 memberships. Appreciate that.
There you go. Cosmo87, Brown, DeJean, Ringo, Mitchell, T.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Slay. Wow. They gave up the most, or tied for the most, receiving touchdowns to wide receivers in 2023. That hopefully is a thing of the past, following what Philadelphia has done over the course of the past, 10 minutes and really, 24 hours and 10 minutes going back to this time last night. Alex Santana already asked this question. I threw it up on the screen one more time. Hi, Howie. Magic time. Trade back up. Get Edgerrin Cooper. What do you guys think? That would make this draft pretty impossible in terms of like the greatest draft of all time. It would be the greatest draft of all time if he could. Hard to do, but
Unreal.
I think they're going to sit tight. And if he falls towards the end of round 2, then you can pull the trigger and maybe move up.
Yeah. Because it would be insane, but again, to your point, like how much would you have to trade up and go get him there? The capital that you would lose. Yes, we'd love it because you get a lot of guys who can make an impact and start from day one. But also, we might just be sitting here and going, "Cool, you got 3 guys, but we'll see you, late tomorrow because there's not going to be a whole lot of selections left for the Eagles." Wouldn't hate it though. As far as Edgerrin Cooper, I got to give a shout out because yes, I see the comment. Ebonda. I think Ebanda said, I don't know if you saw the comment yesterday, but I called that we would trade both our second rounders to move up for DeJean. And yes, I did see the comment.
He called it.
I kind of just disregarded it because I was like, yeah, multiple reasons, right, that Cooper DeJean wouldn't be available because it'd be too steep of a price. The fact that he falls as far as he did helped. But still, I won't lie. I didn't really expect it as much of a you trade away both second rounders and get a Cooper DeJean. So good for you. You called it. Yes.
Yara with a 10, he says the Eagles still have both of their other 2s. No, their 2s are gone. They gave 50 and 53, and they get 76 back. And so that's the gist of the trade there. They are out of second-round draft picks. So just for people who are wondering. Barney, you guys are the best hands down. Go Birds. We appreciate that. We appreciate the 2,700 people. Listen, if you're just joining us, we had 3,000, and then the stream crashed multiple times. We're back now. We only have 500 likes, though. If you give this show a thumbs up right now, you're just joining us. That'll help us get back the amount of people that we had in the very beginning because it was rolling, and it's starting to roll again, and we appreciate you guys for that. The Cardinals pick is in. We'll have that for you in a second. I want to get to some more super chats here. Great pick by Howie, says Alan Cooks. Let's go, Howie. Watch it from Guadalajara. You guys are always, I cut it off here. You guys are always looking for ways to improve your show. It's a great draft show. Thank you. It's supposed to be better tonight, but it keeps crashing. But we're going to hang in there and just have fun with what we have on the screen. That. Donovan Seward says, Howie, Gordon Ramsay Roseman cooking in the Super Bowl or cooking us up to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's the plan. James Carver. These are identical to having too many weapons for one ball, too many for a second DB. We need O-line, edge, and linebackers flash over needs. I disagree because Cooper DeJean is not a pure outside cornerback. He's a hybrid player that everybody seemingly agreed with. Vic Fangio can do whatever the heck he wants with this kid, and he's not gonna sit on the sideline and wait for corners ahead of him to get injured. Plus, Bradbury's gonna be gone. Slay eventually is gonna be gone. Eventually,
you only have one more year.
Go ahead and be, maybe the best. Yeah,
I agree with you. You only have one more year of Slay. In my mind, I don't care. I mean, he may play longer than that, but just one more year, I think, of productivity is realistic. So if it's going to be then, I subscribe to the mindset. I totally get it, James, like the philosophy there. And yes, we have other needs, but you can still address them. Maybe a little bit later, but you can still address them. But if Howie liked the board of the potential prospects that are a little bit further down, I don't mind taking best player available and you could argue maybe that wasn't, but if you're looking at the board, I struggle to deem anyone else worthy of a pick there if you're just looking at best player available. And so Howie probably thought, hey, you know what? If we want him, get a game changer, get a guy like that. And also, like you mentioned, Thomas, I mean, it just gives you more depth on that side. So there you go. I think I missed it. You said it, and I just totally spaced. But it was a 3-for-3 swap in terms of picks.
Yes.
So you have 152. Yes. So that's
yes.
All right, there you go. I mean,
it's on the screen.
It's even better. It's even better.
Grant Tate mentioned that. So we're getting the Cardinal pick here. They are selecting. I didn't hear. Oh, it's Max Melton, the defensive back out of Rutgers. Okay, so Max Melton is now off the board, and so little run on DBs and a little run, big run on DBs. DeJean, McKinstry. And now at 43, the Cardinals have gone with Max Melton. And so we have a bunch of DBs coming off the board right now. That also puts the Las Vegas Raiders back on the clock, if I can find them now on what's a very fun, chaotic night 2. I got to make sure I get Kamari Lassiter on my bottom scroller as well, as he was the 42nd overall draft pick. So you went 4 straight corners: DeJean, McKinstry, Lassiter, and Melton. And very clearly, I think Philadelphia got the best out of all of them. I'm a little biased, though.
I don't mind that. I would agree with you personally. Yes, if you're talking about just a playmaker and everything on that side, but I understand the thought. Did you get Andrew's super chat? The good pick cost too much. 50 and 53 too much.
No, I didn't. Let
I
me
don't
do
know if
this
you
one
got
first.
there yet,
I got Josh
Yeah,
H,
yeah.
and then I'm going to go back. Can we please
Cool,
trade
cool.
Bradbury for a 7th and a ham sandwich? How about it just a ham sandwich? I don't know if you're going to get a 7th back, but it's possible.
Hopefully
There's
not.
Andrew's good pick. Cost too much, 50 and 53. I don't think it cost too much when you consider the fact that DeJean last night was supposed to go to us at 22. I think Philadelphia assumed he would go in the first couple of picks of round 2. When he slid past 38, and then they saw Green Bay at 41, that's when Philadelphia said it's now or never, and they made the jump up. So I think that the value was definitely there. And this puts us in Jeremiah Trotter Jr. territory in round 3 if you really want a linebacker. So that needs to be clear.
It's a good point. Very good point. Yeah. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. maybe the very slim chance of a Junior Colson, but definitely Jeremiah Trotter Jr. territory, and how he's talked about, Philly players, Philly natives like those type of prospects. So we'll see where that ends up. But I don't think that it's too much to give up. Understand if you want to argue that, perfectly fine. To Josh H's comment about the ham sandwich, I mean, I would personally, I'll make 50 ham sandwiches if that's what it takes to ship off James Bradbury and just move on, because there's no playing time that he needs or that we're going to get on that side. But that's neither here nor there, because he's got to see the writing on the wall.
Pick is in for the Las Vegas Raiders. They take the center out of Oregon. He can play guard, though, Jackson Powers Johnson. He is off the board here, Josh, and that is going to put the Green Bay Packers back on the board coming up here at 45.
Jackson Powers Johnson might end up being the best interior offensive lineman from this draft. Like, when all is said and done. Now, I know that he's later than some of these picks, but there is a ton to like. There's probably a little bit more of an affinity for the center and a player that talks about Jason Kelce at the Senior Bowl and everything, Jackson Powers Johnson. But, I mean, if you watch the Oregon center and do work, the fact that what he does not only in the running game but the passing game, he's very physical. He'll get in your face as far as defenders and running very far down the field because he shows that athleticism. I think there's a lot to like with Jackson Powers Johnson. So, kudos to LA for doing that. That's a good pick.
By the way, why do you think DeJean dropped this far? I mean, you could make the case that he didn't get to test as well as he would like, although I still thought his private workout was pretty good based on the other reports we had heard. But he still was dealing with the broken leg, and so coming back from that was a little bit concerning. But I also think people are trying to figure out how to use him. I think some football teams didn't think he could play outside cornerback, and some football teams didn't need a hybrid safety. And so he was kind of this niche player that people said, well, we need a receiver, but more than we need a hybrid safety or cornerback. Philadelphia said, hey, we would love this kid. We'll pair him with Quinyon Mitchell, and you potentially have your secondary set. Keely Ringo this past season, Isaiah Rodgers coming back in. Obviously, the Ghost and Cedric Gunnar-Johnson, you're set for a very, very long time as the Packer pick is officially in. They're going to take somebody here. Let's see who they go at 45. It's Edgerrin Cooper. Oh, wow. There you go. All right. Oh, man. Okay.
So
Edgerrin.
I took him in one mock draft that I did this year I didn't do it for the Eagles because Anthony DeBono already picked the Eagles in the PFN switch up, and I took Edgerrin Cooper for the Packers. And it makes a lot of sense. Everyone knows Edgerrin Cooper. They know his game, know what he can bring to the table. 8 sacks, linebacker who has a lot of athleticism, good in coverage. He's a good run stopper. He does need to be kept clean. I've had that comment on tons of shows. Yes, I see that. Yes, I realize it. But overall, I mean, the potential, I think most of us realize this was the top linebacker. It's who you wanted. So that dream is off the table officially. It kind of was already with the Cooper DeJean. But good pick. Good pick for the Packers. My wife's happy.
The Colts have made a trade here. It looks like we are having somebody come in for the Colts. It's Carolina. So the Panthers are coming back up. The Panthers have been very active so far as I try and make sure I get it all cleaned up right now. Quick super chat here from Bronny. The pick is in, too, for Carolina. This is working really fast here. Bronny said, maybe a wild take. DeJean lets us move on from Blankenship in a year or so. CJ, Brown, and DeJean for the foreseeable future. True. Then, listen, they extended the Ghost for very cheap, and so they are able to keep him without playing him. There's no incentive to keep him on there, but Yes, that is the situation potentially happening right now. I might have missed this one. We got DeJean. I was busy. I don't know what happened. They traded up. They traded their 2 second-round draft picks, got back a third and 152, and so
Yes,
that
sir.
is where we were at. They're going to have another pick in just a couple, maybe an hour or so. So that happened tonight as well.
So stay tuned. It's gonna get even more wild. As Andrew Nathan says, I'm dead inside. But Andrew, we kind of knew this, right? I mean, like, I'm with you, but we did realize a while back, once we took Cooper DeJean, this was not going to happen. And let's just maybe put the silver lining a little bit for those that, yes, this dream's not going to happen. Philadelphia, we just went from not a good secondary to quite possibly, I mean, definitely one of the most athletic. Quinell Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Keely Ringo, Eli Ricks. You're going to kind of out with the old. I mean, Slay's going to have about one more season probably, and then you transition to what you have on the back end. But you have C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You've got Reed Blankenship in there. Sidney Brown is going to be healthy and playing. Like, just think about that secondary. We had talked about it was getting slow, getting older, and you have a completely new shift. And along with Christian Parker as the DB coach, like, there's a lot to like about that. You got to be happy with the secondary and getting both Cooper DeJean and Quinell Mitchell.
I totally agree. As I'm trying to update the scroller here as we wait for the Colts pick.
Yeah, James, 5 super chat. Appreciate it. James says, how do they not grab one of 3 offensive tackles from either BYU in Kingsley, Yale, Amagaji, or wait for Cooper Beebe and get Cooper Beebe with 50 and 53 to address needs, and then it's defensive end? It's a good question. It's a good point. I do understand the counter argument, but I think that I think that Howie has taken a look at this. In my mind, this is what it tells me. Howie took a look at this beforehand. We all know the issues that we saw with the defense, and he said, never again. He said, we are not going to have this situation of taking a look on the field, because we all saw it. We noticed the defense was slow, especially the secondary. We had so many issues not being able to keep up with other athletes. We got just quite outbeat physically, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So he said, that's never going to happen. Like, we're going to draft a stud. Quinell Mitchell magically fell to us. You take advantage of the corner. And then, like you were saying earlier, Thomas, you get an athlete. Like, you have someone who's not necessarily a corner, not necessarily a safety, but you can move him all over the field. And Fangio has his hands in everything. You got to think that he asked, or Howie asked him and said, who's at the top of your board? Who do you need? Who do you want? He's not just going to go rogue and make a trade up for a guy that Fangio is not going to use. So Cooper DeJean will play quite a bit this next coming season, and it's not over. You could still address it with some of the other needs, yes, later at 78, but let's remember, like, we got Jeff Stoutland. So I understand there may be better prospects that you could get with a 50 and 53, but Stout can, as we've seen and know, do a whole lot more with a whole lot less compared to a bunch of other O-line coaches. So I'm okay with it. I'm looking at it optimistically, but you have two playmakers on defense.
Jonathan Brooks just went to the Carolina Panthers at 46. That puts the New York Giants on the board. There's your first running back off the board coming out of Texas. The New York Giants are back on the board following their Malik Neighbors selection at number 6 overall in this draft, and we will wait to see who that is going to be, but the pick is officially in. A lot of super chats. We're trying to run through them right now. Ryan with 2. Got to go. Thanks for the best draft stream out here. Appreciate it, Ryan. Have fun.
Thanks, bro.
Adam 1457. I think day 1 secondary looks like now. You guys are actually the GOATs. Go Birds. Appreciate that. Day 1 secondary should be Quinell Mitchell. It should be Quinell Mitchell, Darius Slay. Then you should go ahead and definitely have a situation where it's probably going to be, obviously, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. But then do you have a situation where you play DeJean at the other safety spot just day 1? Do you work him into it? That's going to be the very interesting part. The very, very interesting part.
True, yeah. I don't know. I mean, Sidney Brown, it'd be shocking on one hand, but he says he thinks he's going to be ready to go and, wanting to play in that position. Does he get that spot? Or are they trying to use him a little bit more in the slot? It's a question, I guess, to be figured out, but I wouldn't bet money against Sidney Brown being ready to go for the start of the season with how he attacks everything. So it's a fantastic problem to have. I mean, let's be honest. You have a bunch of athletes and you have a bunch of questions to say, hey, well, could he start? Could he be the guy? Are you going to go here for slot? Are you going to go here for safety? Can he move around? You give options for a Vic Fangio defense, and that's never a bad thing. So it's a lot to like on that side. Got a 20 bomb from Way Truth Live. Appreciate that. It says Trotter Jr. next. Jalen Hurts' favorite thing, Jesus said, you don't know what I do now, but you will understand later. John 13:7. Mine is, I am the way, the truth, the life. No man comes to the Father but me. But by me, excuse me. Appreciate the 20. Heck yeah.
Call me Rod. Look out for Peyton Wilson, too. Good cover linebacker. Yes, we're keeping an eye on him as well. And then we got another one from Shaq A. Who's the next ideal pick for us? I think we got to wait and see what the board's going to do, because there is obviously a need for some tackle depth, and there obviously is a need for linebacker depth. And I think Jeremiah Trotter Jr. would be a name that people would love. I know there are some people that think he's a little bit undersized. He's a little bit not really ready for the spotlight, but when you get a guy like Devin White, you could go ahead and redshirt a guy like Jeremiah Trotter Jr. just to make the Eagle fans happy, so we'll see about that. Full Send Daily sad, but I think Trotter Jr. is still promising, though. I agree. I definitely think that it is not the end of the world to lose Edgerrin Cooper. I would rather have had, honestly, Cooper DeJean than Edgerrin Cooper, just because Cooper was a second-round draft pick. Edgerrin Cooper was a second-round draft pick. Cooper DeJean was a first-rounder you get in round 2. So we're talking about, give and take here, but I'm definitely a fan of that. Robert Baker, yep. Parsons got to be hating life. Yes, Micah Parsons somewhere is really wishing he was a Philadelphia Eagle. Definitely.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, especially after all these moves, and you're just looking at, we're not doing a whole lot, and my owner saying all in means nothing, and yet the rich get richer, supposedly, here for the Eagles. So I know you got to prove it on the field. Totally get that. But, yes, you have these playmakers, and Micah Parsons' reaction is always a beautiful thing to see him upset on that side. Really quickly, I had a couple different comments ask this. Most recently, King Kenzo saying he's at work and not able to check what pick did we give up and when do they pick next. So just as a refresher, trade the Commanders to get Cooper DeJean. We gave up 50, 53, 161, and in return got back 40, 78, and 152. So the next pick is 78, which will be in the third round in a little while.
We're already at 47. I mean, things are going pretty quickly as we keep awaiting this pick here at 47 for the New York Football Giants. And we're going to see who that is going to be as people are flying off the board. It looks like the Giants are going with Tyler Nubin. I believe that is correct. I think Tyler Nubin has just gone off the board. Yes, so Tyler Nubin is a New York Giant. And that means that Jacksonville is going to be on the clock. And as we get things rolling, things are really starting to move right now. So we're trying to keep up with it. It's crazy. It's definitely crazy.
You got a pick for Jacksonville as well, actually.
Okay, who is? Do you have the pick for Jacksonville? I did not. Go ahead.
It is. Yep. Ari Merov. Jaguars are selecting LSU defensive tackle Mason Smith at 48.
Okay. A little bit undersized, but a very good defensive tackle, and that's another run on defensive players that are all seemingly going in round 2 right now.
It's always funny, again, to your point, like when you see the run on any position, really, you start seeing the trickle-down effect of, I gotta trade up. I got to go get my guy here. So it's kind of early to get a Mason Smith, but if everybody's got different boards of who you like and where you want to go with.
Sure.
So they're going to take him here at 48.
Okay, so 47, Tyler Nubin. 48 is going to be Mason Smith to the Jaguars. And then I think
A's if you're inputting it, just for the record. I don't know if you already did, but
yep, I got that. And then I believe we have the Bengal pick too. So we're gonna keep the pick is in going because here come the Cincinnati Bengals. They're taking Chris Jenkins out of Michigan, the defensive tackle.
I like
Cincinnati,
that. I do.
That's a
like
good pick there.
One.
You like that one?
That is, and I know they're different types of players, so it's not a totally fair comparison. But interior D line. Don't necessarily love the Jacksonville pick. Feels like an early pick at that point for Mason Smith. But yeah, Chris Jenkins, really like that pick. Makes a lot of sense. Justin, I know, again, shout out to Justin. Anytime there's a Michigan player, but he was big on Chris Jenkins hype and potentially to Philly. Obviously that won't happen because he's getting taken here. But that's a pretty solid pick.
All right, so the Bengals have taken Chris Jenkins, and that means that we can go ahead and put the Washington Commanders back on the clock. If I can find out where they are on my list of teams. Do you guys, wide receiver is a target for us in this draft? We do, Petit, along with your question of asking about DeJean better than Kool-Aid and position at 78. We would agree with that as well. But we do think wide receiver, I don't think you're going to see it tonight. I think it's going to be similar to the draft a couple of years ago where they got Quez Watkins in round 6. And that other guy, I forget who it even was. They got 2 receivers in, I think, 6 and 7 or 5 and 6, and neither of them really panned out. So I think it'll be later on tonight.
Most likely. I'll just put it out there. If maybe a Johnny Wilson or possibly a Malachi Corley is still there, I think you have to, and that's probably a gluttonous pick, as Daniel Jeremiah's continued to say. But those type of talents, I don't know. You add it to this offense, maybe. But I do agree with you there.
Okay, we are still chilling with 2,700 people. Give the show a thumbs up. We appreciate you guys bearing with us. We had technical difficulties at the start of the show, but we are about to be 50 picks in as we wait for Washington. And we're 2 picks ahead of ESPN right now, who's still showing you Mason Smith, the D-tackle out of LSU. And that means that really we're about to have what would have been the Philadelphia Eagles selection. And as you look at the board, Josh, you see the Eagles below us right here as it starts to kind of move from our right to left. DeJean, McKinstry officially gone. Texans went for another good cornerback in Kamari Lassiter. The Cardinals got another one there, and Max Melton. All the corners would have been gone by here, and technically Cooper DeJean would have been gone as well. And so you kind of take that into perspective whenever you look at Philadelphia trading up. Edgerrin Cooper was gone at 45 to the Packers. So a lot of people that the Eagles might have really liked officially off of this draft board where they would have been selecting had they stayed put at 50 with the Washington Commanders.
Yep. Great point. You're taking a look at the board of who you might go after. The one that I am just shocked by, quite honestly, and you mentioned some of the names there. I mean, Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's going to take it, but the fact that 50, there's always one of those names, and it's been tons of different positions, but the fact that he is there at 50 is, I mean, just absolutely floors me. I know Troy Franklin is another option. Peyton Wilson is not as surprising because of the injury concerns, but that is wild. Shout out to Way Truth Life, another membership gifted.
Another one.
So Maxwell, congrats.
There you go. Cody B, did the Eagles go all in? Cody, I would be very safe to say the Eagles have gone all in. I'm very confident the Cowboys have not. So just FYI, the Cowboys have not.
Be an accurate assessment of how things have transpired.
Why do the Bengals keep doing this to me? First Dax Hill, DJ Turner, now Chris Jenkins. Yeah, I don't know, Justin, but you got to be a Bengal fan now, I guess.
See, that's what I was saying. Too many players that from one school, and next thing you know, you got to have an AFC team.
Yeah,
if you believe in that,
it's very
a little hard, but they're going to play Cincinnati this year, so that might be a little bit tougher to swallow. That.
We do not have the commander pick yet. We're waiting on number 50 to wait for that pick to go ahead and get turned in. ESPN has just given us Chris Jenkins to the Bengals at 49. It's obviously below on your screen as we scroll through round 1 here. And we continue to wait and see what Philadelphia is going to do. Washington obviously gets both of the Eagles' second-round draft picks, having traded Cooper DeJean's spot away to Philadelphia. Their reward is 50 and 53. Very curious to see what those Eagle picks are going to eventually turn into in a matter of minutes here.
This is, always a little extra interest naturally in your division rival, but let's see where this one ends up. If you're Washington, I mean, what are you eyeing here on the board? Where are you going with this one?
Could it be someone on the offensive line? That could be an option there. CJ Deacon says, I had the feeling last night we're going to draft DeJean today. Fly goes fly. I thought about it, but I really didn't think they were going to be able to pull it off. I think that they would just go as high as they needed to get him, which I thought would be somewhere in the late 30s. And said you stay put at 50, 50, 50, then move to 45, just a couple of picks ahead, and then you make the selection. The commander pick is now in. And so we are waiting to see what the Washington Commanders are going to go ahead and do with this selection. I do not have it yet, Josh, as we continue to wait here.
Yeah,
the Commanders are going Michigan cornerback Mike. Oh, I don't recognize this one. Sane Ristel. That's who they're going with. Did I say his last name correctly?
Yes, there you go. Still, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it's a little high for him. I had him as a day 3 guy.
Really? Okay. This one is I think he's you could have gotten him very early this round. In my opinion, anyway. Like cornerback, Justin's gonna hate that because again, you got another Michigan guy coming off the board. But I like this one as much as you can knock like an Emmanuel Forbes and the fact that they didn't necessarily pan out or hasn't so far. Let's be honest. We shouldn't rush to judgment.
Sure.
But The fact that you get him here, and he's maybe a little undersized, like what, 5'10",
5'9", yeah.
5'9", yeah, 5'9", 182. But I mean, just in terms of his physicality, there's a difference, I think, between what you see in like an Emmanuel Forbes, what Sanders still brings out on the field. Justin could tell us all about him, but yeah, that might be a little tough as far as your division rival just got a Michigan player. So sorry about that.
6 interceptions. That was third in college football in 2023. That puts the Steelers back on the clock right now as we get into the 50s here. And round 2 is definitely halfway done. It starts to fly by when they start to make these picks, 7 minutes long versus 10 minutes long. But things are starting to heat up here as we wait for Philadelphia's 3rd round draft pick.
It's interesting. It's I'm curious. I'm like a little side story now. Honestly, it's just like I'm curious how far you're going to go of an Adonai Mitchell falling down the board. Like, Pittsburgh needs or thinks they want a receiver, the potential trade of Brandon Ayuk. But if you have a guy like Adonai Mitchell available on the board, I mean, just kind of, hey, he fell in your lap at 51. You might just go ahead and do that, but I don't know.
There's definitely a possibility here, as we got a super chat here from Maxwell saying, can't believe we got the 2 best corners, Howie Magic. There's an argument there. I mean, there is definitely an argument there that is the case, as the pick is in for the Steelers. Another super chat here. Do you mean to tell me two second-round picks plus Bradbury couldn't get a Surtain? Is that not a better deal? Do we believe in DeJean that much? I think DeJean plus Quignon is a better deal than Pat Surtain, who you got to pay $1 bajillion after his 5th-year option. You're getting 2 really, really good young cornerbacks, DBs, whatever you want to call them, for rookie contracts, and DeJean is going to cost you pennies on the dollar, not being a first-round draft pick. I mean, pennies on the dollar. For sure, yeah. And there's no way that, I mean, let's just be honest, there's no way 2 second-round picks and Bradbury trades and gets Patrick Surtain. Bradbury does not move the needle at all. Bradbury might move the needle negatively if you're going to try to trade him there. Point. So it doesn't, there's not even anything anywhere close to making that trade. I understand we're trying to do any sort of value that we could get for him, but in my mind, there's no way that I'd see that. Did we get the Shaq A5? He said, does the AJ extension affect our cap negatively later on? Did you get that one? I haven't seen yet. No. I have it on there. I have not seen the exact cap hit that it's going to take.
Yeah, I don't.
I've not seen that.
It helps it early on because if we were talking about that, like yesterday, I guess.
Sure.
But in terms of the exact numbers much further on down the line, who knows? But I would just say I think it gives you more of that long-term flexibility because as we've seen, the Eagles are going to pay the cash up front, do it in a lot of bonuses. You do have the the cap flexibility of that side. So ultimately it's a good thing. It's why Howie's so great at what he does. Helps out both sides. But yeah, to your point, we don't really know the official numbers later on down the line.
All right. We are still waiting on the Steelers draft pick. I have not seen a Steelers pick yet. I think they're waiting for this commercial break, and so we're kind of waiting to see what's going to go ahead and happen with the Pittsburgh Steelers here. But they are sitting at 51.
They did.
Indy 52. Do you have it?
Yep. They took...
I see it. Yep. Go ahead.
Yep. Zach Frazier. Yep. Mm-hmm. Center out of West Virginia. How about that?
There you go.
Curious if they might decide of going, go with a wide receiver, yet you have Troy Fautanu and Zach Frazier. You're bulking up and beefing up the interior O-line. Good for them. I don't necessarily I don't know. It tells you obviously their plans and hey, let's bolster this. You like beefing up the O-line and kind of investing on that side, but that's a solid pick. There's no lie that it's a good pick at this point.
All right, so 52 means that the Indianapolis Colts are now on the clock, and we will wait and see where they are going to go. Frazier has not been announced on ESPN yet, but you did mention that they have really bulked up over there in Pittsburgh, and maybe rightfully so, to try to protect whoever plays quarterback here. So we're going to wait and see.
Way Truth Life, another membership. It's I think every 5 minutes there's just like one membership.
Someone gets a new one.
So
someone gets a new one.
Appreciate that, and shout out to Tracy Ann. They just got a membership. Good for you.
Oh, man, this has been crazy fast. Yesterday felt fast, but I felt like we had time to break down every single pick. Right now, this is nuts, and round 3 is going to be even faster. It's 2 minutes quicker on the clock, so we're having fun, though. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us despite all the technical difficulties that really derailed us in the beginning, but we're rocking and rolling right now, and we appreciate
Barely
you guys.
breathe. It's so fast. We got another pick. We got the Colts pick. It's in.
All right, let me go ahead.
All right, so Jordan Schultz has got the pick. It's the Colts are drafting finally. He's off the board. Texas wide receiver Adonai Mitchell at 52.
Wow, there he is. Okay.
That pick. You want to pick a dark horse in terms of, maybe not necessarily as much of a shock, but maybe you can't call him a dark horse because of last season. But Anthony Richardson throwing to Adonai Mitchell, add the weapon. You got Michael Pittman as well. But the fact that you're going to have more weapons for a Shane Steichen offense, a comeback season, so to speak, for Anthony Richardson, look out for the Colts. That is going to be dangerous.
Yeah, and you talk about the chip on the shoulder as well. For someone who, again, thought he could sneak into maybe the top of the first round, at least or the bottom of the first round, at least the top of the second round. That did not happen, and so now he goes all the way to 52 every year. There's receivers that definitely fall, and this is one of them. But I think the Colts, if they have a healthy Anthony Richardson, are going to be very happy with the outcome of this season in a division that does have a much stronger Texans team. They obviously have the Jacksonville Jaguars, but they have got to be very much up there. And they got Leatu Latu early on in round 1, who instantly gives them some pass rushing help as well.
Yep. Gotta like that. Really good pick. Good for Steichen. Good for him.
We all love Shane Steichen. We're all Shane Steichen friends. All Definitely. Shane Steichen friends.
I told you the story about the ref that I know that's coached at his his training camps last season. So it's always good whenever you see things and you're like, I don't really know, and then you get to hear a story from someone who's interacted with him a lot more personally and said, he's as good of a guy, if not better. It's like, all right, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Does Howie trade back into the second round, says Permafrost? It would depend on who he likes. Is there an offensive lineman that you think is worth coming back up for, Josh? You feel like that's probably the next option here with Edgerrin Cooper gone and your safety and corner positions pretty much locked up. Is there a tackle left on the board that you really like?
Personally, I would go with Kieran Amagaji for Yale. Over Kingsley Suamaitai, I think is how I say. I'm never great at that one, but that's who I would lean. But I think you could rotate. You could alternate either one of those. It does feel like we're getting pretty close to the point where you could see either of them going off the board. I don't know. Those are the only two that come to mind as far as tackle talent or offensive line talent that's worthy of a trade up in that scenario. But again, kind of like we were speculating earlier, 78 to, even if you wait, 2, 3, 4 picks and trade at 78 to 56, 57, somewhere in that range, that's still, you're giving up a decent amount to go and do that when you've already given up draft capital to move up and get Cooper DeJean. So I don't think it's as likely as it is to wait until you get into the third round and then maybe trade up, 10 selections instead of 20 or 25 selections.
Someone just said the Colts are on the clock. No, the Colts pick is over. We already have the Colts pick. That has been done. We are waiting on the Washington Commander pick here at 53. But the Colts selection is about to be announced on ESPN. So just FYI, we're always ahead of where we are right now. A couple of people giving you some options there. Brandon Coleman is an offensive tackle name that's been thrown up there. Cooper Bebe, I think it's how you say his last name. Another option as well. There are quite a few tackles that the Eagles could trade up for or sit tight in round 3.
That's true. It might be a little early for a guard, although I do like the Cooper draft, the Cooper option. Kansas State, he's a stud.
Yeah, there's the Adonai Mitchell pick by the Indianapolis Colts. And so Commanders are officially on the clock right now, but Adonai Mitchell waits a while, and there he is with his family. It looked like that was a little bit painful. They finally get that thing done. Okay, let's see if we get another pick here. I'm not sure yet. Cooper DeJean did say, this is from Tim McManus during his Zoom meeting with the Eagle media, he's healthy enough following his broken fibula last season that if there was a game tomorrow, he would be able to play. So that is good news for Philadelphia Eagles people who obviously are worried about an injury there. It seems to be just fine.
And do you see it's interesting because you got the Cooper DeJean comment saying, I'm a football player. You put me on the field. I'm going to go play football. So the virtual press conference right after getting drafted, talking about his position or question there.
There you go.
Football player.
That's
going to make plays.
That's what you want. We love our football players. The Colts pick is in right now. I haven't seen it yet. If you see it, let me know. We'll let the people know what Indianapolis Colts are doing. Frank from Philly says round 3 tonight or tomorrow. It is tonight. They're going to get through the 64th pick in this draft. That'll be the end of round 2. Then it speeds up for round 3. And then, of course, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are tomorrow, if I'm correct, right? 4, 5, 6, and 7 are all tomorrow.
Yes. Yes, sir. That is, and it'll go by blazing fast for that one. I know you said Colts, but you meant the Commanders. I know because we already talked about Colts.
Of course.
But, I still don't see anything for them officially.
No, I don't see it yet. I do not see it yet either. They obviously went Jaden Daniels in round 1. That seems to be a very popular pick. They give us that the pick is in. We don't know who it is yet, but let's see who we got here for round 2 with the Washington Commanders. I still don't have it yet. I think they're going to commercial break on ESPN, which might slow things down there as well.
Yep, not seeing anything.
All right.
Holding up for that.
Sure.
Yeah, like Steven's saying he was on a 30 visit, I think, talking about the Brandon Coleman. Yeah, that's right.
Good point.
He was. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Eagles like their top 30 visits. Mitchell and Cooper DeJean were both top 30 visits, which is something that Philadelphia has done many, many times over the past couple of seasons, is take people who were taken in their top 30 visits.
That's true. I mean, so far, so good. 2 for 2. There was speculation, right? Because like all the reports that we got of hey, so-and-so met with Philly, and then, oh, wait, they didn't. There was a canceled visit, or, so they're not going to actually, venture all the way to meet with the team, or technically, no, it wasn't a top 30. It was just a private workout or something like that. Was, is that Howie's way of kind of throwing people off the scent, because people have begun to realize it's like, oh, the Eagles are almost for sure going to draft players they bring in on a top 30 visit. But, so far, the argument would be made that has not changed at all, because it's been your top 30 visit guys that have been taken.
We still do not have the Commanders pick. We are still waiting on the Commanders pick. We do not have that yet. And so whenever we do, we will let you guys know.
Hey, I like that comment from James Palmer. While we're still waiting on the Commanders, said, my understanding is the Eagles believe Cooper DeJean was probably the best overall football player in that group of top cornerbacks. Situational awareness, tackling, spatial awareness, natural instincts on the field. Is he a true cornerback on the outside? Most likely not, but there is a plan. So there you go. Got a plan, going to use Cooper DeJean.
And Vic Fangio should be a part of that plan. I mean, Vic Fangio very clearly is going to have his handprint all over not only Quinyon Mitchell in round 1, but Cooper DeJean as well. And it's going to be exciting to see what his defense looks like with the right pieces and players. You got to figure that Cooper DeJean fits somewhere on the Fangio defense in terms of scheme and making sure that he's in the right place to make the right plays. I mean, a lot of interceptions during his time at Iowa, a lot of tackles inside the box as well. And I think that's kind of where you would think to see DeJean covering, nickel people in the slot, or going against tight ends, or filling gaps against running backs. I mean, those are kind of the main questions that people had for Philadelphia's defense. Who's going to be that guy? And DeJean is going to hopefully fill that role pretty easily.
Yep. That's the hope. That's the goal. The pick is officially in, though. I don't know if you saw it.
No, I don't.
They're going tight end. Commanders tight end, Kansas State, Ben Sinnott.
Wow.
6'4", 245. Get to learn behind Zach Ertz. So not a bad
Zach Ertz.
mentor of that side, I guess, if you want to go with Cliff Kingsbury and Zach Ertz. But sadly, I will say I really do like this pick. I like Sinnott. I thought he's the second best tight end in the class. I hate that it's a division rival, and he does get to learn from someone who's a really good player to learn from. This dude, he's very. I mean, we talked about Brock Bowers obviously being next level, next tier. So I'm not saying he's anywhere like that, but kind of that all around complete package, can do it all type of player. I think that this is, just a mini version of that. And so you got to like it. If you're going to go tight end, you get a guy who's not really a whole lot of concerns or weaknesses in any areas. He's good at everything. I think the description from, I think it was Daniel Jeremiah maybe that said it, was a jack of all trades. So you take your tight end. Sadly, yes, I'll admit I like this pick for the Commanders.
All right, that means that the Cleveland Browns are now officially going to be on the clock, as this is going to be pick 54, as they are now announcing the Washington Commander draft pick right now. And so we are 54 picks in, and that means we are getting close to the end of round 2. 64 is our magic number, so that means we are technically at 22 right now. There's a James Carver super chat saying McCormick, right guard, is likely best player. Now they don't have to move up and instead back to get him. Maggie, the Temple linebacker, trade back in the 88-93 range.
I like that. McCormick, I'm trying to think, did McCormick come in on a visit, or did they just, I know they had a lot of interest. I don't think he came in on a top 30 visit, but I know Stout had a lot of interest there with McCormick, and then I'm drawing a blank on who there were two, like the O tackle and guard that came in kind of both together on a visit, or at least a meeting. So that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Nope. This is we do not have the Brown pick yet. The Browns are on the clock. We do not have that yet. The Commander pick is being shown the highlights of Ben Sinnott, the tight end out of Kansas State, 4th in career receiving yards at Kansas State. Pretty impressive right there in terms of tight ends. And
I know we don't
pretty
always
high for a Kansas State player.
Yeah, I was gonna say very high for that. If I know we don't always go at all based off of PFF rankings and everything there, so you take it with a grain of salt. But if you saw Brandon Lee Gouton's tweet, he said the Eagles drafted 2 of the top 9 players on PFF's big board. Cooper DeJean was 8, and Quinyon Mitchell was 9.
Wow. And again, it shows you that DeJean was higher rated than Quinyon Mitchell for some people, and yet you got him almost double the amount of picks later. I mean, literally, when you get them at 22 and then 45, it's pretty impressive where Philadelphia was able to grab a guy that some people had a top 10 defensive grade on.
It's unreal. There are no words, because again, you take advantage of the value. You take advantage of him slipping, falling down the board, because some teams are not sure where he's going to play or how they can utilize him. Best player available.
All right, we're waiting on the Cleveland Brown pick. Let me know if you get that one, as the pick is officially in with 54. Who is that talking for the Browns right now? I didn't see it.
Who was that actually?
Oh, it's Carl. It's Carl Nassib.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah.
All right, we do not have the Brown pick yet. Come on, Carl. Tell us who it is. Oh, the D tackle from Ohio State, Michael Hall, is there. Okay, all right. So the Browns pick is officially done, and that means that the Dolphins are up again. And I'm going to make sure I have that correct up here on my screen, as the Miami Dolphins are now on the clock.
All right. Get your interior D lineman there. Add to the defense. It's funny, taking a look on Slay's comment about the Eagles drafting Cooper DeJean. Did you see the?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
He's joking. Obviously, Slay's a jokester, but he says, "Welcome, my guy. Now you got to change your answer on the start bench cut." Which, if you're not aware with this start bench cut thing, basically Cooper DeJean was asked, like some of the top corners, and they said, "Who do you start bench cut between Sauce, Jalen Ramsey, and Slay?" And so he said, "Start Sauce, bench Jalen Ramsey, and then cut Slay." And so Slay remembered that and went ahead and basically said like, all right, bro, we got to change that answer. So that would be interesting. You're kind of backed into a corner when you get asked these like hypotheticals,
Of course,
and you don't exactly know where you're going to go, what's going to happen. But then you got to go and, oh, well, I got drafted by Philly. So, hey, Slay, I know I said that I would. But in all fairness, he's joking. And realistically, I mean, I don't know if anyone would disagree with the rankings there. You kind of shift those around, but it's kind of funny.
All right, we do not have a pick yet for the Miami Dolphins right now. There it is. The pick is now in for the Miami Dolphins, and so we'll see exactly who that is going to be as the Dallas Cowboys are about to be on the clock at 56. That is going to be very interesting to see what the Dallas Cowboys are going to go ahead and do. We wait for Miami first, though.
Mike McDaniel's all hyped on the camera there, whoever they're getting.
What was DeJean listed as when drafted? He was listed as a corner, I believe.
Yes, I think so. Showed up his corner.
All right, 55 in the Dolphins. Yes, we are waiting to see who they go. They went Chop Robinson in round 1 at 21. That felt like a little bit of a reach there. Not terribly, but it was definitely a little bit of a reach, in my opinion, going ahead of Quinyon Mitchell. And now we wait and see who the Dolphins are going to go. You wonder what the Cooper DeJean pick means for Kelee Ringo. I mean, we were all very in and hyped on Kelee Ringo, and now where is he on the Eagle corner depth chart? I think he's fallen pretty far down, right? I think he's fallen pretty dramatically down.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely understandable, certainly with the talent that you have on the board. But I think it's good because competition, you can't ever have enough of that. So hopefully that's where it sticks. But yeah, he's gonna have to fight for it if he wants playing time because you added a lot of extra depth to the cornerback room. That's for sure.
Patrick Paul, the offensive tackle from Houston, is gone at 55 for the Miami Dolphins, and that does mean that the Dallas Cowboys are now officially on the clock. After what was a pretty, I'm not going to say disappointing round 1. They got an offensive lineman. They needed a tackle, but still, they didn't necessarily get anything crazy here. And it's going to be very, very fun to see what they're going to do. Corey's Conservative Conversations, longtime watcher, start an Eagles channel. Any advice? Chance for a collaboration. Hey, you never know. Send us some DMs on Twitter. You never know what happens there. Be yourself and make it high quality. That's my advice. There's a lot of channels out there, and not a lot look good. So I would recommend making it look as good as you possibly can with whatever you have available to you.
Heck yeah, dude. We appreciate the support, though. And I would echo the same thing, honestly. I mean, people can tell when you're being real, so just be authentic, be yourself, and take care of that.
There you go. Make sure people are going to want to sit down and watch it. That's always important. People tend to forget that one there. Let's see. Patrick Paul from Houston. Yep, that's who went. The Cowboys are on the clock. They don't have the pick yet. Tampa Bay is on deck at 57. Green Bay back up at 58 after trading back because they were not able to get the person that they really wanted, and that was Cooper DeJean. So let that be known right here. Slay needs to cut back on social media, worry about not giving up big plays. Joking or not, his comments are tiresome. They were during the season. They're a little less during the offseason, I would say. I don't hate him as much. Let's just say that. During the season, they would get a little old. During the offseason, I'm fine with Slay having a little bit of fun. That's just me. Yep,
I'm with you. I don't mind to hear. Who does Dallas go with?
Running back? Blake Corum tickle your fancy? If you were a Cowboy fan right now, they need a running back. They don't have Tony Pollard. They don't have any money to spend on anyone else. Maybe this is running back. Maybe it's wide receiver.
Perhaps.
You can make a case there.
Yeah.
They got their offensive lineman.
Perhaps either. To Florida State. I think they brought him in on a visit specifically also. So there's a couple different options.
Mel's best available. You have the guard from Kansas, Cooper Bebe, Kingsley Sumalatiai. You always mess up his name. I did too. Christian Hayes, the guard out of UConn. A lot of offensive linemen available right now. Defensive line, Mekhi Wingo, LSU. Dwayne Carter from Duke as well, if they wanted to go on the defensive line. And they haven't decided yet as GM And all-in specialist Jerry Jones is talking to his son and soon-to-be-fired Mike McCarthy after this season. So stinks to be him, but it is what it is. What about Isaiah Rodgers in that DB room? Well, he's got to work to get on the field now because, come on, you want your rookies to play and you want your rookies to be more successful than someone you're paying like $1 million this year in Isaiah Rodgers. So he's if he plays, it's because he's the best out of the group.
For sure, which again, that's a great problem to have because last season, could we have said that? No, absolutely not. We were just scraping by with whoever we can throw out there, and that was not going to end up being an answer. So, good place to be in.
Dallas went Tyler Guyton in round 1. We have not gotten a round 2 pick yet from the Cowboys. Pick is not in either. You wonder if they're waiting to see if someone wants to come up here. But no one seems to be buying, and so Dallas probably has to take somebody here as we wait for them sitting patiently on the clock.
Let's see. Come on. It's always interesting because some of these draft picks, it's like they get leaked, obviously early, or people post it on Twitter, and then some of them seem to take so much longer.
It's very true. Mr. Scorpio said, I'm watching you guys while at dinner with a friend. Howie's the GOAT. Second, 2 of the top 3 DBs. I love it. Appreciate that. I hope you're having a good dinner as well. Yeah, I mean, truly, Tierran Arnold, I think most people just straight cover in terms of being a corner. You'd rank ahead of Cooper DeJean. You wouldn't rank him ahead of Quinton Mitchell. The Eagles obviously didn't. But besides him, DeJean very clearly was the next best secondary piece. I know Nate Wiggins went in round 1 there, Josh, but I think a lot of us agree that he's a first-round talent for a second-round pick for the Philadelphia Eagles as the Cowboy pick is now officially in.
Yep, I do agree. I agree with you. Do we know who it is yet? Or are we still... Oh, I see it.
Who is it?
Jordan Schultz just announced it is Marshawn Kneeland, adding a defensive pass rusher.
The senior out of Western Michigan. Yes, he had an interesting Senior Bowl as well, so they go pass rusher there. What about Micah Parsons thinks of that, huh?
I would love to get his reaction, quite honestly. I mean, Kneeland's interesting because I did a specific video breaking him down whenever the Eagles brought him in, and he's an absolute athlete, 6'3", 275. Depending on where he lines up and how you project him, he's either a pretty good athlete for an edge or he's an insane athlete if you're going to put him into the interior. Now, he's a little bit, small if you're going to play him as a defensive tackle, but he can move and he can get a bunch of different areas on that D-line. So it's not the worst pick. I don't know that you would necessarily say that he's the top projected on the board in terms of pass rusher, but you get a guy who's very physical, loves to bull rush, maybe sometimes gets caught too much, maybe utilizing that move, but with power, strength on that side, it's not the worst move if you want a pass rusher. Now, if you want maybe a silver lining as an Eagles fan, one of the player comps, which I don't really buy into player comps a lot, but if you want one, player comp was a Derek Barnett, so I'll just throw that out there. Maybe they got a Derek Barnett.
There you go. We like to hear that. We have a Dallas Sucks in the chat here from Mr. Scorpio at dinner with his buddy. $2 super chat. We appreciate that.
We like that. They do. We do like that.
They definitely do.
Appreciate it.
Definitely do. All right, Bucks are on the clock at 57 right now. Packers are there at 58.
Shout out to Way Truth Life. Gifted another membership as well. It's kind of like clockwork at this point, but appreciate it, dude. And also, let's see, there was one other chat, I think. Pork Chop Express says, what about Isaiah Rodgers in that DB room? Appreciate the 2. And I mean, we're not discrediting it. It's
right.
He's there. He's an option. You've got more athleticism. I think, again, we talk about like you're going to go from one of the slowest, older, somewhat unathletic secondaries to one of the youngest, most athletic, and incredible playmaking secondaries. Now, the potential is there. Can they get coached up in that scheme? I think they can. I think a lot of people believe that it's Fangio, but no, don't discount Isaiah Rodgers. He could be a kick returner for you. He could be the slot. He could be a backup outside option. He could even work his way into a starting outside option if he beats out the rookies and something crazy happens. That's not really what we want with Quinton Mitchell, but who really knows? Having that extra depth, you can't have too many corners as we saw last season. So no, we're not forgetting about him, but maybe not your top option in that side.
I totally agree as I do a headphone swap here to make sure I have my batteries charged. And now we should be back and ready to rock. There we go. Had to make sure we had I like to go one in ear, one out. And so one has died from last night, forgot to charge it, and now we have the other one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we had the Cowboy pick. That one happened a while ago, going with the edge rusher Marshawn Kneeland, and now we are patiently waiting for the Bucs, who are technically on the clock right now. But the Cowboy pick is sure taking a while.
Took him a long time to get that announcement. The Bucs looks maybe. I'm confirming on another. I got the first one. Make sure it's official. It looks like they might have the pick made.
Okay. All right. I got this. Let me know if you have it. I don't have it yet.
Let's see. It is. I'm looking for like a second and third source just to make sure.
Yep. Let's see here.
There you go. Yep. We got it.
Go for it.
The Bucs will be taking at 57 an Alabama player. Looks like we're going to get a little bit of a run on edge rushers as well, but defensive end Chris Braswell at 57. So Todd Bowles is going to get his pass rusher.
Yep. There's Todd Bowles' pass rusher, and that is going to put the Green Bay Packers back on the clock for now at 58. So we are back waiting for ESPN to finish talking about Marshawn Kneeland, and you got Chris Braswell going off the board at 57, and now we go ahead and wait for the Packer pick to get off here.
I like that pick. Be interesting to see where he goes. 6'3", 255. It feels like, I mean, again, with like the Alabamas, the Georgias, these types of players, it's just a wave of, who's the next starter? Who's the next guy coming up? Had to play behind Will Anderson, so it takes a while to even get noticed, but there's a lot of athleticism. The technical ability may not be quite as there, so that's probably why it's, not as early of a draft pick like a Dallas Turner. You had him play on the opposite side, but, in a Todd Bowles situation, I think anytime you get a athlete who can rush the passer, they're going to be probably set up for success. So I think that's a solid pick.
I think so too. I would definitely agree with that one. All right, so the Bucs pick is in on ESPN, and we go ahead and wait for 58 to happen as we're rolling down to the bottom of the second round. Super chat in from Cardi Simmons. You agree with trading 50 and 53 for Cooper DeJean? We do. I mean, we both feel very confident in it, and I know that the argument is you already got a corner, but you don't think of DeJean as a corner. You think of him now with Quinton Mitchell being there as a defensive weapon. That's kind of the best way to go ahead and put it, a hybrid secondary piece. And you got to remember, he's a first-round talent that you got at 40, right? So instead of having to, wait and see how much further he was going to fall, they've come up to go ahead and take him. And sure, you missed out on Edgerrin Cooper at 45 to the Green Bay Packers, but Edgerrin Cooper was a second-round prospect. You get a first-round prospect in round 2, and that should be the real key for the Philadelphia Eagle fans, that at least I would believe.
Mm-hmm. Right there with you. Talk about it's all about projection for everything, but certainly, the further you get outside of the first round, we talk about hit rates and how low they can be even for first round, but as soon as you get out of that, they fall off a cliff. And so it's kind of like everything's projection. Everything is how much availability, how much potential do they have in their boat. And when you talk about a guy who should have very likely been drafted in the first round, I know that he fell, but based on just about everyone's board, you would say he was in the upper part to be a first rounder. So you get him there, you like the option, the potential, you get the best player available. Is it a little bit of a, we needed another position, or we have another position of need? Sure, you could argue that, but I mean, still at the same time, best player available seems to work a lot of times within a draft. That's where Howie felt. You go ahead and get the guy at the top of your board, make the move. So I don't mind it. I like it. Curious to see what the Packers do here. Have a somewhat vested interest, obviously, within my household. And looks like they have made their selection. Another SEC player.
Who is it?
It is Georgia safety, Javon Bullard.
Wow, Bullard was an option for Philadelphia. I think he at least was mocked in a couple of drafts as just being The Reed Blankenship replacement there, I think he fell kind of where you expect, 58 to the Packers, and there goes the first Georgia defensive player that isn't a cornerback off the board now. They've gotten 3 with Bowers on offense, and then obviously the cornerback a little bit earlier, and then now a safety. And so UGA well represented here. Not an Eagle. That's important. They're not going UGA, at least so far in this draft, as they had the past couple of years. But they go ahead and the Packers get their safety there following the Edgerrin Cooper pick. So loading up on defense in the AFC North.
I like that pick, especially because we both had the same reaction whenever they drafted Morgan, the guard from Arizona, of like, that's not the best pick, I would say, in the first round. However, they've made up for it in the last 2 because they have Edgerrin Cooper, and now you get Javon Bullard. You got flexibility with Bullard too because he played what, the slot 2 seasons ago, and he played safety last year. So, you can move in a couple different spots. The Packers certainly needed help and do need help onto the defensive side. You address that with a linebacker and a safety. That's a team we all know we're going to see week 1, but those are a couple pieces that you very well could see starting on week 1. So solid picks on that side.
Houston Texans are now on the clock there at 59. I am going to run to use the restroom while we have a break in some of these picks. I will be right back.
I got it. Unfortunately, not subscribing to the Gatorade bottle, but Brian saying Reed is an absolute dog, no doubt. Question on Reed Blankenship. I mean, I get it. Like, where's he gonna? Is he still gonna start? Is he in jeopardy? Is Cooper DeJean gonna supersede Reed Blankenship? How long is he gonna be here? We'll see. I like Reed's game. There's a few concerns, but overall, I like his game, his ability. Can he stay healthy? And that's the concern, I guess, with a lot of guys. Fred saying still need a linebacker. Yes. The fact that, let's just take a look at this too, because I think everyone's going to agree you need a linebacker. Peyton Wilson is still available at the moment. I don't know that I love that because of the injury history and, a couple other sides, but Junior Colson to me is my linebacker too. A lot of you guys know that. I would say if we're getting in the close-ish territory, maybe you trade up in that scenario. You trade up a little bit. Michael, astronaut diaper, you kidding me? Like, we could wear NASCAR uniforms or something too. Like, it's just the restroom's right there. He's going to be back in just a little bit. I appreciate the, calling us out. We're going to try to do our best, stay dedicated professionalism here. That might be a little bit much though. No, I say Junior Colson, it's a long way still to 78. But I wouldn't say it's impossible yet. You do have a couple other linebackers. Maybe Jeremiah Trotter Jr. It's not the favorite that I would go with. Got a couple of the pass rushers. Kieran Amagaji is still available. Kingsley Siomaitai is still available. So, yes, Kramer, you don't owe me the cheesesteak. I was looking forward to it. I was excited about the potential of the cheesesteak, and that's just not going to happen. So, Steven saying Peyton's medicals must be scaring teams away. That's true. We talk about, how far does someone fall based on medicals. Adonai Mitchell was not really a medical situation, and so that one was strange. Peyton Wilson does feel like the further that we keep going, depending on how long that ends up being, that it is a medical issue, because a lot of teams brought him in on top 30 naturally to probably take a look at his knees with the injury history, the surgery, all that stuff. But Douglas, appreciate it. Says you guys are doing great. You deserve the occasional break. Thank you. All right. That means a lot. I know everybody's just joking and gives us a hard time, but let's see. There was one that I missed. Oh, I'm Rees. Says, what's the grade you'd give us? Draft grade so far? I'd say an A. I got to give us an A. Maybe not like an A+, but I'd say an A. Solid. Make some trades. You did pick up a third-round selection, so it's not like you're even done. You got 2 first-round grade players. You got Quinyon Mitchell magically falling into your lap at 22. Cooper DeJean should have gone top 15, top 20. You end up getting him for a lot better value, and then you're going to move back and take a selection at 78, unless Howie trades up and gets something earlier. So Blake Fisher off the board.
So the Texans pick is Blake Fisher, right? That's what we're saying right now? Okay.
Yes. Yep.
So we put the Buffalo Bills back on the clock.
Yep. I like that selection. He kind of flew up people's draft boards very late. Anthony DeBona had mentioned him as a guy who very quickly started getting a lot of top 30 visits later in the process. I think he was like 14 teams or something ridiculous. But
really,
a tackle that, I think that there's a decent part about his game. Obviously, you take a look at a guy like a Joe Alt, who's going to get a lot more of the look very early on, best tackle, but he's got some promise, show some flashes, needs a little bit of a tune-up, especially whenever he's going up against faster, quicker players. It seems like every single highlight, if it was a guy who wanted to bull rush, then he'd be fairly okay. If it's a guy who's going to try to beat him with bend and speed, look out. Like, that was immediate getting torched. So, but it's later round. It's later in the second round. You take your tackle. They must feel like they like that for that example. Personally, I'm glad they took that, though, because we talked about tackles. I would rather have Amagaji, Kingsley, I'm not going to try to say the last name, or Brandon Coleman, either of those three over Blake Fisher. So Texans, take a tackle and leave you better options. So that's actually kind of a win for the Eagles.
There you go. Buffalo Bills are on the clock here at 60, followed by the Lions, the Baltimore Ravens, and then, of course, rounding out round 2 with the 49ers and Chiefs. And so we continue to wait and see what the Eagles will now do at 78, which is getting pretty close. I mean, we're sitting here at 60, so you're 18 picks away from Philadelphia if they don't trade up or trade back down. And so we are waiting to see what's going to happen with that one. That is, of course, the pick that the Eagles got for the trade for the Cooper DeJean move. The Buffalo Bill pick is in right now as we continue to go ahead and wait and see who that is going to be. Stephen Coppin says, "I think we have the defensive rookie of the year in one of these two." I think you might. I think it's going to be just very fascinating to see how quickly they get Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell up to speed in the defense, and then how quickly they start making plays at training camp. I mean, that's going to be the real determiner, because they get to go against the best offensive weapons in the entire National Football League. It's going to be one-on-ones Quinyon Mitchell versus A.J. Brown, one-on-ones Cooper DeJean versus Devontae Smith. It's going to be a very, very fun training camp period. And listen, these two guys are first and second round draft picks, so regardless of other veterans ahead of them on the roster, if they play well enough, they're going to get on the football field sooner rather than later.
Yes, you're right. To your point, and they're going to get some of the best competition, like you said, in practice with an A.J. Brown, Smitty. Quinyon should be ready. Cooper DeJean should be ready. If I was going to pick one over the other, which is not really surprising, but I'd say, Quinyon Mitchell more likely because he'll be in those spots. I don't know. Feels like a lot of times pass rusher, you get that because they can generate the sacks and the numbers on that side. But I wouldn't say it's impossible, especially because we know how much Quinyon is a ball hawk and he creates turnovers. So if all of a sudden you're like, hey, man, he had like 5 interceptions, 1 or 2 pick sixes, then it could very easily turn his way. So we'll see. Looks like we got Cole Bishop, I believe.
Yep.
Is the pick. Yep. Yeah.
There you go. That'll bring the Lions back up around. Much to the delight of the Detroit crowd. And so Cole Bishop is off the board there with the Utah safety. And so there you go.
I don't see that one.
60th pick. You don't?
Right. That to me is really high. I don't know. I see potential, I guess, but that just seems really high for a safety.
They do say that we are basically at a point in the draft now, right when you get past 60, that most teams have a consensus on the top 50, top 60 players in the draft. Once you get past 60, you're seeing people who have, 5th round grades going round 2 or round 3, or people who have, 3rd round grades going round 6. And so it's very much a crapshoot the entire draft, but now it's really starting here once we get going past 60 and into round 3.
Yep. It gets real because everything changes, and all of a sudden guys that we thought like, oh, hey, ranking-wise, you should be there, it's going to change quite a bit. So, all right, I'm going to run because I am also not going to subscribe to the Gatorade bottle astronaut diapers, actually what Michael said earlier. So they're definitely not doing that. I'm going to come back.
Okay, go for it. All right, we are waiting for the Lions pick right now. Best available from Mel Kiper is TJ Tampa, the corner out of Iowa State. Malachi Corley, the wide receiver out of Western Kentucky. Roman Wilson, the Michigan wide receiver. And Cooper Baby, the card out of Kansas State, excuse me. And we are still sitting here with 2,300 people watching us after what was a little bit of a rough start. Had some technical difficulties. Don't know what happened with that, but we're almost done with round 2, and then round 3 is going to speed up. So, of course, the first round, 10 minutes per pick. That draws out the pageantry of night 1. We were on air for 4.5 hours. It's just kind of how it works. Round 2, they slow it up. They speed it up a little bit, give you 7 minutes in between picks, and then when you get to round 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, it's 5 minutes. And so it's going to be rapid fire. You have very little time to make a trade and then make a pick, and so a lot of people stay put. It's going to be very, very fun and interesting what teams are going to go ahead and do. They are now mentioning the Buffalo Bill pick on ESPN, and we are waiting to see when the Detroit Lion pick is officially submitted here, as Buffalo has taken Utah safety Cole Bishop to add to their defensive backfield. And it looks like the Detroit Lions are going to go ahead and get the pick in. So the Lions pick is in. We'll get that up on the screen right now. Josh will be back here in just 1 second. As yes, the Lions pick is in. Detroit, yep, I'm seeing that as well. The Detroit Lions take Ennis Rackstraw, the cornerback out of Missouri. So the Detroit Lions pick is officially in as they take Rackstraw. And now we will go ahead and shift towards the Baltimore Ravens, who are down towards the bottom of round 2 at 62. They are now on the clock as Rackstraw officially has gone off of the board. And I am going to make sure that we are up to date in terms of our draft board here as the Bills went Cole Bishop. And then the, make sure I got the Detroit Lions here going for Ennis Rackstraw, okay? And then 62 will be the Ravens. And so we will see who that pick is going to be. Fred Wilson said the Lions are going to be really good this season. My goodness, I think that they are. It's going to be fascinating to see how the NFC East, not the NFC East, the NFC as a whole turns out, because it feels like everyone's getting better. I mean, Minnesota with a new quarterback, still a lot of talent on that roster. Obviously, the Green Bay Packers are supposed to be pretty darn good this year. The entire NFC North is pretty loaded. Philadelphia has got to hope that, you know, Jaden Daniels has growing pains, that Malik Neighbors doesn't make necessarily the Giants that much better, and the Cowboys stay as bad as we think the Cowboys are because they're all in with no good players in their roster. So very fun to see how that is going to go. As it looks like Barry Sanders is going to announce the Rackstraw pick here for the Detroit Lions, much to the delight of the still probably 100,000 people that are hanging out in Detroit right now. So that's pretty cool. Leaving us with the Baltimore Ravens, who are still on the clock. And I've not submitted that pick yet. And Josh is back. So there was Josh right there. There you go. Welcome back. You had Ennis Rackstraw go to the Detroit Lions. That one just dropped. And we are now waiting for the Baltimore Raven one.
They're just copying the Eagles. Double dip on corner.
Seems like it. It definitely seems like it.
Interesting. I like Rackstraw. I mean, his athleticism, extreme competitor.
Ravens pick is in here, okay? We have the Ravens pick, and it is going to be the Washington tackle Roger Rosengarten at 62. So there goes Rosengarten. Another offensive lineman is off the board, and you're starting to wonder if they're going to get an offensive lineman, Josh. It sounds like it's going to be someone that is going to be a little bit later on in this draft. They're going to get not the cream of the crop like you thought they might in round 1 or round 2, but as long as Jeff Stoutland approves, I think we all will approve on who that is going to be. So Ravens pick is in. They go offensive line. That puts the 49ers, who have not traded away either of their receivers, back on the clock.
Interesting. We'll see what the Niners do. I like Rosengarten. Rosengarten's on the radar of the Eagles. Had been obviously bringing in for the visit there, but he's kind of a smaller, like an undersized or lacking strength type of tackle. Because I think he's barely over 300 pounds. He's got some good game, very athletic tackle. So, again, that the Eagles especially like that type of individual, bringing him in. But I don't know, curious pick, I guess, there for the Ravens. I would have expected maybe another tackle, like I mentioned, Amagaji, Kingsley, or even Brandon Coleman going before that. But hey, they go ahead and move on.
Let's go ahead and pull up. I'm going to take a look at the best available right now, according to ESPN. Junior Colson, the linebacker from Michigan. I mean, again, you want linebacker for Philadelphia. He's your best available as we currently stand. There's also Peyton Wilson and Cedric Gray from North Carolina and NC State, respectively. And so there's a couple there as we march closer towards Philadelphia's third-round pick at 78. If you wanted to go linebacker, Trey Benson, the running back from Florida State. Your receivers that are left available, there's a couple of good ones. I mean, Jalen McMullen, the wide receiver out of Washington. Troy Franklin, I really like. He's out of Oregon, and he's obviously still available, along with Jerry Rice's son, Brendan Rice, and Roman Wilson, the Michigan wide receiver. When it comes to going back to, the offensive tackle position, Rosengarten just went down. Kingsley from BYU is still there. Christian Jones from Texas. Javon Foster from Missouri. There's a couple of names that you would recognize, but then there's a lot of names you wouldn't recognize. And so we obviously have to wait and see what they're going to do, whether it's night 2 or day 3 coming up tomorrow, as they are just now announcing the Baltimore Raven pick there at 62 on ESPN.
There you go. That's interesting. Also, I was going to follow the water, ask the question here. I've always been more of an NBA draft kind of guy. What's the 30 visit thing I've seen mentioned? It's a good question. Fair point. So 30 thing is just the top 30 visits. So each team is allowed 30 visits, which it's interesting this year because, how many did the Eagles get? Yeah, who knows? Because there's 33, 34-ish reported. Some were canceled. So we don't really know the legit 30, but each team can bring in 30 players, get a closer look, have your medical team look at them. A lot of times it's guys who maybe suffered an injury in college, make sure that it kind of checks all the boxes, kind of more, invested interview process, seeing the facility, you show them for kind of your top draft prospects and things like that. So it's a good process, get a closer look. And again, not every team uses it this way. Some use it for smoke and mirrors, but Philly in the past, especially with Howie Roseman, it's kind of a just given. If it's a top 30 visit, yep, there you go. Go ahead and slot them towards the top of the board because Howie likes them a lot and got a closer look.
Ben Decker with $10 Super Chat. Ben, we appreciate that. If you have anything you want to add in terms of comments, go for it. Christian Navarez, 10, he says, years from now, we'll be talking about the Bills passing on Xavier Worthy and Xavier Legette. Keon Coleman is good, but how do you Chiefs trade up and get Worthy? Ridiculous. I agree, although Xavier Worthy is not a guarantee. He's 165 pounds. He's a track star. So at the next level, is he the next Tyreek Hill? Maybe Patrick Mahomes makes him, that exactly. We will see. But we will wait and see exactly what happens with that one, as the Chiefs have traded up, and they have immediately submitted their pick. So they move up one with the Niners. That's very interesting.
Ooh, okay.
And we're going to see what Andy Reid and the world champion Chiefs are going to do here. I don't think it's a receiver. It's going to be interesting to see what the Chiefs do. They obviously wanted him, and they thought someone else might trade up to take him to go ahead of San Francisco.
Yeah, curious who this will be, actually. I mean, who do you trade up and get in this? I will say, you just mentioned Xavier Worthy. It's a fair point, although I will I'm just going to make a prediction here and say that Xavier Worthy is 1,000+ next year, and I do think that he ends up being just a stud because Andy Reid being able to scheme him open, Patrick Mahomes, like you said, it's just there's so much ability with the athleticism and his route running. So I think he will be really solid. But to your point, he's not a good fit for everyone. I mean, there's a lot of teams that I can totally understand. You're like, nope, that's not going to work scheme-wise for us. We don't want to touch it. He's too slight. But for Kansas City and Andy Reid, we know what happens to a Deshaun Jackson-esque, and we'll see if he can get to that level. But still, he's got a lot of the tools to be pretty close.
Someone just asked if they won the draft hat. They did not. It was DeMar Buckets 10, and I'm sending that to him tomorrow. I've already been in contact with him. So, and we're going to let you know on the jersey here coming up from our draft league. Who did the Chiefs take? Do we know who that is yet?
I'm still refreshing to see. Oh, they did. Yep. We got Kingsley, Suamaitai or Maida. I can't ever say
the
it.
offensive lineman.
Tackle.
Yep, he's a good one, and they clearly wanted him. Let's see how they pronounce this on ESPN.
Hopefully they can tell us.
I think they got it pretty darn close. Okay, so the pick is in there, and that means we take the Chiefs off the clock. We throw the 49ers on the clock at 64 to round out the final pick in the draft of round 2. Ben Decker said wanted Cooper at 22, didn't think Mitchell would be there, and now we get both without giving up a bunch of plus. Got into third for O-line or linebacker. Eagles stealing this draft. Wow, fly goes fly. That is I think the right way to think about it. I mean, sure, you can be upset about not getting Edgerrin Cooper, but I definitely believe that's how the majority of Eagle fans will be thinking with Ben Decker there with a $10 super chat. I think so.
Appreciate that, dude. Yes, I agree with you. And I like this pick also. Let's just say that. For Kansas City, we were talking about the tackles. You could get Amagaji or you could get him. Personally, I like Amagaji better. So for the Eagles, this works out. But there's a lot of potential with Kingsley. The athleticism obviously jumps out immediately. Size-wise, he could probably put on a little bit more weight, but strength is still there. Ultimately, he can move fairly well. Lateral quickness is a little bit lacking, but overall, when you talk about, you've invested in a receiver, something to protect Mahomes, let him grow into this. I'd say solid overall pick in terms of pass rusher.
There you go. All right, the Chiefs have made their selection that puts the Niners on the clock, and the Niners pick is now in. That one was quick as well. And I think once we get into round 3, Josh, we can let people know who won our jersey in our fantasy draft league, right?
Yes, we sure can. Absolutely.
Okay, there you go. Eric Citron, he says, positions you think needs to be addressed in the draft. Well, what's left? I do think that you've got to get an offensive lineman at some point. They will get a wide receiver probably tomorrow. And I wouldn't mind getting a linebacker. I know that there's the argument that Nakobe Dean, Devin White, they're going to be just fine. I do think that another linebacker to at least come in and compete during training camp is a really good option. And I would take a flyer. At this point, if you just want to have the ultimate name draft and get names everyone recognizes in DeJean and Mitchell, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. in round 3 could make a lot of sense here. Could it be a little early? There's definitely an argument for that, but that would be my guess as we wait and see what the Niners pick is going to be.
Yeah, I like the potential. It's definitely for the positions of need that we have. It does make sense. So looks like they went corner. Is that what you're getting? I believe.
I'm waiting for the.
Yeah, I've seen 1, 2. Yes,
one here.
Yeah. Cornerback. Niners are taking Florida State cornerback Renardo Green. So interesting. That doesn't make sense. That is official. That's who they're taking. I'm just reading into this tweet. Ari Marov says,
I see that.
They were eyeing offensive tackle. I guess it means that they were off the board before they traded. Because I'm going to say you traded back to allow an offensive tackle to get taken. So I'm just curious, who would that have been? Roger Rosengarten? Did they want him and maybe Blake Fisher possibly?
Maybe. Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay. Well, get your cornerback. That's round 2.
There you go.
Andru Phillips is still on board. TJ Tampa for corners. Kyrie Jackson. There's still some other guys out there for teams interested in corner, but Renardo Green, I like that pick. Solid. Shout out to
Holy Overdraft. maybe. You never know.
Yeah, again, it's at this point there's some corners that there are a couple that maybe I would have taken before that, but it's solid. You to your point earlier, there's sometimes changes, but let's see. There is who was it? Sorry, I missed one person helping us out here. Mark Anthony, there you go. Appreciate it. He's given us the Suamatia, I think is the pronunciation apparently for Kingsley. Suamatia.
Suamatia.
So, okay. If that's how it is, I'll take your word for it because I have no idea.
All right, well, that means that we are officially done with round 2 with the Niner pick being in, and Arimo K telling us exactly where the Eagles are at, right? 78, 120, 152, 171, 172, 210. Those are the Eagles' remaining picks tomorrow. 78 will happen tonight, and then the 5 others you see on your screen, which is a lot for tomorrow, are going to go ahead and happen tomorrow for that one, and we're going to have breakdowns of that, obviously, after the draft is done. Over the weekend. So be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that. We would definitely appreciate the
You guys are the best. Yes, like you said, Thomas. I mean, the fact that we had to put up with that, but then they did also, and then show them back
Yep.
up. So we appreciate the likes and the support, everything else. Steven asking, who is your next target, Josh and Tom? It's Thomas. Don't say Tom. Thomas.
It's okay. We'll
But
let it slide.
there's only a few that can say that, so just making sure I got your back there. But I don't know. I would say at this point, you still have a ways to wait because of 78. But Junior Colson, I mean, I really like his game. The Edgerrin Cooper was not a possibility, but if Junior Colson somehow magically can fall all the way to 78, or even if it's just a very small trade up, I think Junior Colson's at the top of my list.
Yeah. If they could somehow get out of round 3 with one of the top linebackers, I mean, Junior Colson is the number 1 overall ranked player left on ESPN's big board. I mean, Peyton Willis and Cedric Gray are on the board there at 3 and 4. Are they as NFL ready as Junior Colson is? That's an argument that you can definitely sit out there and make. Troy Franklin, if they wanted to go wide receiver, could be very, very interesting. I am curious how far down Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is on this best available draft board. He is 41st in terms of best remaining players. So with the Eagles still having some picks tomorrow, they might be able to wait or come up in round 4 if they still wanted Trotter Jr. and get someone with a little bit more. Cooper Bebe is obviously a name that's getting thrown around there at the same time. Someone who is falling right now, though, Josh, Spencer Rattler. There was a what do we have?
We did get a trade. I was going to say, we got New York Jets trade into the top of the 3rd round, and they're taking a receiver. They get an option for Aaron Rodgers.
It is a receiver. Do you know which
it is?
Which one?
It is Western Kentucky Malachi Corley to the Jets.
There he is.
King is going to the Jets.
That's right.
I like this pick. I would have preferred that he somehow makes it because you either have Junior Colson or Malachi Corley, but that's a really good pick. You pair him up with Aaron Rodgers. That's solid.
Matt Eddy made a good point. If you got Justin Simmons, you wouldn't get DeJean. Would much rather have had younger DeJean. That's a great point. I mean, we all have been clamoring for Justin Simmons, and he remains a free agent, which is pretty wild to even think about. And then, you get Cooper DeJean in round 2 at pick 40 for what is going to be way, way, way less money this year. Way less money this year.
Very true.
All right, so the Jets pick is in, and they go wide receiver, trading up here. And so we will have the Arizona Cardinals coming up very, very shortly here for the 2nd pick in the 3rd round.
I'm hurt. Getting comments there. That's one of those. That's a receiver that realistically, was he going to stick around all the way to 78? Probably not. But outside of him, I'm not interested in. I mean, maybe Johnny Wilson, I guess, would maybe the next one. There's several wide receivers you could take before that. So, that's where we're at. But linebacker is the realistic potential. You could still go Junior Colson. Would love that pick. But yeah, we should probably, because we've got a couple jerseys to announce and or give away.
Yes, we do.
Do we want to announce the winner of the NFL Draft League, the 1st round? I've got the name. If we want to do that, we could at least throw that out there. All right.
Let's explain exactly how that went down really quickly. Do you have the link? Can you send me the link and I'll throw it up? Text if you can send me the link. I'll throw it up on the screen to show who won because I've lost that link a while ago.
You mean you're deleting emails that I send you?
No, I just get too many emails, and so it's way far down. So it's much easier if you just send it to me to get it up to the old top there,
I got you. All right, let's see. I'll send this one. All right, that one should do it there. I'm going to...
All right, they're starting round 3 by thanking service members in the crowd, which is nice. And there is the link. Thank you for Twitter. And I will go ahead and get this one pulled up. That way we can showcase exactly what went down here in the Fantasy Draft League after I log in. All right, so hang on. Let me make sure I get the old screen share going here. And zoom in. There we go. All right, so hang on. There it is. All right, so we will go ahead and throw that up. Here was our fantasy draft league where you could select who you thought would be picks 1 through 32. And then, of course, whoever got the most correct, then you would win. Who's the big ticket fan 5, Josh? I wonder who that is.
I have no idea. They must be an absolute stud because they got a ton of selections right. I don't know who that could possibly be. That's my old email username. So for people that are actually
Josh.
Yes, that's
Josh. Josh won the league.
And I got
9th.
There you go. See, you probably had more fun with it, honestly, because here's what I'm gonna say is my philosophy and theory was no one really knows what's gonna happen on draft night. So besides the top 3 selections, which were kind of a given of based on reports, it was gonna be quarterbacks and Jaden Daniels second, probably Drake May third. Then I basically went, or then Marvin Harrison Jr. Then I basically went other with my selection, like everyone after that. So it's not a fun draft, but anyway, it was correct.
That doesn't mean that you win the jersey. We're giving the jersey to the second place winner, which is
correct.
Clemos 1884.
There you go. Congratulations. And I believe whenever I was looking that up, contact info is Kevin Lemos, if I'm saying that last name correctly. Okay. So, Kevin, I sent you an email. Let me see if I got an email back from you yet. I have not yet. So if you're watching this or you end up coming back and watching it, just respond to the email because your contact info was immediately in the league whenever you signed up. And we will get you the jersey of your choice. If you want a Quinion Mitchell, that's what I would choose. You could get a Cooper DeJean. That'd be a pretty cool one as well. Or just any other Eagle. You take your pick. So kudos. Great job, Kevin.
There you go. Congrats to everyone who was playing. A bunch of fun there. And we'll wait for the email to get that jersey sent out. There you go. There's our first one.
In the meantime, we have another pick that happened while we were doing that. So let's see. The Cardinals have their running back.
Who is it? Is it Trey Benson?
It is Trey Benson. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Florida State at 66.
Trey Benson, Marvin Harrison Jr. How about that for the old Arizona Cardinals? That is very interesting. Very interesting.
That is, you got some playmakers adding some to the offense. Like Kyler Murray, Trey Benson, James Conner, Marvin Harrison Jr.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Get a little bit more. Right. That's pretty solid.
Cardinals come off the clock. The Washington Commanders come on the clock at 67, and we are 11 picks away from the Philadelphia Eagles going on with 78. And, of course, if you're watching right now, have not hit the sub button, hit that red sub button, we'd appreciate it. And the Cardinals, boy, they threw that pick out there very quickly, didn't they? That was like instantly they went ahead and threw up that pick, and now are trying to run Trey Benson all the way up to the commissioner to make that happen very, very quickly. So there you go. All right.
Yeah. And I don't know if we want to do it now or we can wait because we got a couple jerseys to still give away, but naturally one of those was the randomized. So anyone who entered the NFL Draft League,
let's do the randomized one.
Said. So okay, we can do that.
Let's do it.
I've got the wheel ready.
Okay.
So we are good. Let me just share the screen with you. All right, and then make sure that you can see that, but then we should be good.
There you go. You are on the screen with it. All right, so these are the people that entered, obviously based on the amount that they did whenever they entered. So that's why some are bigger and some are smaller as we've done in the past. Who gets the other jersey? Let's go.
There you go. NFL Draft League entries, applicants, good luck to you. And who's it going to be? This one actually has sound effects, so it's kind of more fun than the past one.
Much more fun.
Good luck, all, and it will be, well, there you go. I think I said that last name correctly, but congrats to you. You have won the jersey of your choice. Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, whatever you want. Randomized spinner, and congrats, Matthew.
There you go,
I'll
Matthew.
also contact you. If you're not watching here, I'll contact you because I have your contact info, so I'll send that out.
There you go. All right. We have multiple jerseys that have been given away. Very fun. Very fun. Always fun to do. Okay, do we have the commander pick? Boy, they have a lot of picks in this draft. I know they did some trading, obviously with us. The pick is in as well for the Washington Commanders, so they are going with Did they trade it? They might have traded it. Hang on, let's make sure that they didn't trade this pick here. Because I'm seeing that the Patriots pick is in as well. I do not have the commander pick yet. Nope, not yet. All right, well, the pick is in on the screen at ESPN, so we'll see exactly who this is going to go ahead and be, but we do not know who it is yet.
Oh, I see it.
Who is it?
It's going to be O-line and Brandon Coleman, it looks like, is who they're taking. So tackle off the board.
And then looks like the Patriots have already made their selection as well. Am I seeing this correctly? Have they gone Camden Wallace from Penn State? I think they did.
Yep, I think so.
Okay, so we have the Patriot pick as well, and that gets us all the way to 69, and we are single digits away from the Eagles, which puts the Los Angeles Chargers back on the clock now. Okay, so Brandon Coleman is off the board.
Moving right along.
Yeah, it's starting to really go here. All right, so we got Malachi Corley was the first pick of the Jets in round 3. 66 went ahead and was what I think is a very good pick and keeps it away from the Dallas Cowboys, is someone who they definitely wanted in Trey Benson out of Florida State. And then 67 now just happened, and that is the Washington Commanders, and that is going to be Brandon Coleman out of TCU. I think Coleman had a visit with the Philadelphia Eagles as well, if I am not mistaken. I think that they did.
Mm-hmm. That is a guy that would have been a potential for the Eagles, but obviously off the board. He's a good prospect. That would have been one where, again, you've got Amagaji from Yale who's still available. If you look at tackle talent, Matt Goncalves is a guy from Pitt who Stoutland apparently likes. Took some interest at the Pitt Pro Day. So there's a couple. Later, if you sit there at 78, you want to draft a tackle, maybe they fall to you. I can't imagine that Amagaji's going to 10 more picks until you get there, but. Like you say, I mean, Junior Colson is available if you maybe get your linebacker. Shout out to Dave Edwards, though. This is probably one of the best just pure comments that we've gotten so far tonight, and has gotten a lot of likes from people too. But appreciate the 10. Says the Eagles got 2 new receivers for Dak. The future of this secondary is looking amazing. Great show, guys. Appreciate all your hard work. I like this one. Huh? I like Quidel Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, 2 new receivers for Dak. I can definitely get behind that. We needed a couple worthy receivers for Dak after this past season. So, heck yeah.
And Dak is obviously lacking receivers because they haven't re-signed their best receiver in CeeDee Lamb. And, of course, he's not going to report to camp until he actually has that happen. So that is going to be very, very interesting to see with the Dallas Cowboys, who have had a pretty interesting draft here. What trade just happened? I believe it was no, was there a trade at the top there? I don't think that there was. Because the Patriots pick is now in for ESPN. We already know who that is. The Chargers are now on the clock there at 69.
The only trade that we've had so far, like round 3, if they're asking, but that was a while ago, was the Jets. But yeah, we haven't had any others that I'm seeing so far.
Hey, 2025 secondary will look like Mitchell and Ringo outside, Cooper in slot, Brown and Cedar Gardner-Johnson at safety. That sounds like it could be very, very likely. Ringo's got some work to do, I think, this offseason, 100%. Buck Nasty Man, the sign giveaway has already been chosen, right? Yes. It was Jason Blessings won the neon sign last night, so he got that one.
Yes, he did. Good for him. Sorry, I was there's this comment that someone is, oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted, but I got tagged in a couple different messages. So did you see Cooper DeJean in his introductory press conference? He got asked a question. It sounds like that was Jeff McClain. But the question was, he said, as you probably know, there's not been many white starting cornerbacks in the NFL, and trying to get his thoughts in his introductory press conference. Like, I mean, really, are we just? This feels like a conversation that you're gonna the introductory press conference to Philly, and that's the first question we need to or want to ask. Like, I'm sorry, but it's naturally it's blowing up on Twitter, and that's why I was like, wait a minute, I got to hear this. So, I'm back. I'm back.
Of course,
What in the world are we doing? Why are we asking these questions?
I'm not surprised at the person who asked that question there. It doesn't really shock me. The Chargers have made their pick, and you are not going to like it, Josh, as it is Junior Colson, the linebacker out of Michigan. So the Chargers have made their pick, and another linebacker is off the board now, which is a bummer for all of us who thought that there could be a potential linebacker reunion 8 picks from now when Philadelphia is on the board, but now the Chargers have made their selection, and so that means that we are now moving on to the New York Giants, who are back on the clock.
Oh, I was holding out hope. It might have been, unrealistic hope on that side, but yeah, it makes sense because Harbaugh reunites. We're close. You're right. You're right.
That's right. It is a Harbaugh. Yeah. You knew he was eventually going to go ahead and take a Michigan player. I thought it'd be a little later on in this draft, but
that's true.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is.
Get your linebacker. All right. Well, yeah, you got options.
TJ Tampa, the corner, is falling like crazy. He has been the number 1 player on Mel's big board for about the past 45 minutes. So I'm not curious what's going on with that. He has still not been taken yet. They're about to give us the Patriot pick. We, of course, are ahead, and so we do know the Patriot pick that has already happened and moved on to the Charger pick in in the linebacker from Michigan, and then we are waiting on the Giant pick at 70. That's kind of where we are at right now.
There we go.
Rattler seems like a Howie pick. I would steer very clear of Spencer Rattler. I am hoping that Spencer Rattler and the drama that would unfold does not happen right there. So that would definitely stink. I have the Giant pick. It's Kentucky DB Andru Phillips at number 70. And so the pick is in there for the New York Giants. They go with the Kentucky defensive back.
I like that pick. I really like that pick. He plays bigger than he's a decent size. He's like 6 foot, 190, but he plays bigger than he actually is. Very physical corner. Maybe a little bit raw at times, just with or kind of stiff with the hips, but he's pretty solid. He's going to get in your face. He's going to play physical. That's a pretty good pickup.
Peyton Wilson, Trotter Jr., Cooper Bebe, Jatavion Sanders, all still available. Yes, people asking. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is still available. I don't think he goes at 78. I think it's a little bit too high, but if you really want a linebacker, then he's one of the better ones that's left available right now, so we'll keep an eye on that. We're getting close. Getting very close.
Yes, we are. We're being asked by Frank, but Frank, you were here last night, so why are you asking, how are y'all at 2 picks ahead of ESPN? It's because they are taking the pageantry and, they got to announce the picks and get the introductions out and the commercials and everything else, and we're just going based off of live real time and when the reports get leaked to Twitter.
What it do, Thomas and Josh? Just joining out with this draft so far. Dominoes falling all over the place, as John Doe. They have been doing just that. They have been doing exactly that so far. We would definitely agree. As there is finally the Caden Wallace Penn State offensive tackle pick that has gone for the ESPN board. And so we are a couple of picks ahead. We already had the Giant pick that is through. And so they will finally go ahead and go to the Charger pick, which we already know as well. And so we are waiting for the draft board to start to take a little bit more shape here, but it will be the Arizona Cardinals, technically in real time, who are on the clock right now. Just keeping up to date with everything that's going on with that. But Camden Wallace, the Penn State tackle, most recent one given to us there by ESPN. And so the Patriot draft board is Drake May, Jalen Polk, and they get a tackle to protect Jake May and Caden Wallace. Caden Wallace, excuse me. I don't think it's the worst draft board overall for a team that needed a quarterback, a receiver, and an offensive lineman.
No, not at all. I think it's great picks. To your point, you're starting naturally with your quarterback, and then you just kind of build outside from there. So I like it. You're investing in the right places. I would say that. My name's Dylan, joining a little bit later here, says who won the draft league, Josh. It was Kevin Lemos, I think is how I'm saying that last name correctly, but emailed Kevin. Unfortunately, sorry to everybody else. You are able to, anyone who signed up, you're able to go sign in. You had to obviously create a profile. Right. So if you want to just double check, you can take a look. It'll show you everyone's picks. So you can go to the pick standings and everything and take a look at that. But Kevin won.
A lot of people saying Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is not too high at 78. Potentially. We'll see what happens here. We're on pick 71, so we're 7 away. We're also in trade-up range if Philly wanted to move up to go get somebody right now, but let's wait and see. ESPN, whoever announced it, Jim Harbaugh got one of his boys. That's funny.
Saw that. I heard that. I was hopeful that he would stick around, but going from playing soccer in Haiti to a 3rd-round draft pick.
Wow.
Going to be a linebacker for the Chargers. That's a pretty cool story.
That is really cool. Yep, they're giving it right now. All right, so we'll see how quickly the Cardinals are going to run this pickup onto the board. They just got Trey Benson a couple of picks ago there in the 2nd round, and so they get their 3rd-round draft pick here at 71 as we wait for 78 in the Philadelphia Eagles. We approach 10 p.m. on the East Coast. There he is. John Doe's in. What's up, John?
Yeah. Josh B saying that Josh won it. Well, technically, I guess that's correct. Yes.
Technically.
I won it, but I'm not, Now, the Fantasy Football League, if I win that, sorry, I'm keeping the...
That's right.
Keeping the money.
You're not winning back-to-back this year. I'm definitely going to have a chance there this season. I'm going to draft a lot better than I did last year.
The odds would
Our
say,
Fantasy Football League last
likely.
season was very fun with both of our shows. That was a really good time. Really good time.
I absolutely enjoyed it. It was fantastic, naturally, because,
because you won.
I won the thing. But still, yes, to your point, it was a blast. We had a great time. Live stream, both drafts, kind of announcing the picks and everything else there. Pretty cool.
They are just now giving us the giant pick being in. They're showing us the Charger, Joe Alt, Ladd McConkey, Junior Colson. That is a very Jim Harbaugh draft. I kind of like it.
Yeah, that one's good. I'm trying to... let's see.
Peyton Wilson says young Bull Jamal that he's probably the best linebacker left on the big board right now. That's definitely a potential pick here. A couple picks away for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, you think that they... I don't know. Do you go that route with... there is potential, but I get the concerns of, like injury and... I don't know. Oh, Tiki's the one announcing the New York pick too.
Tiki.
What a joke.
Oh, man. Not a Tiki Barber fan.
Oh, my goodness. Especially all of that.
Sorry, super chat from Harvin Grays with a 5. We appreciate that. People are checking back in. 2,500 people. Hit the like buttons. We're getting closer and closer to the Eagles' final pick of the night, most likely, because they obviously can trade back up if they want. But the final pick of the night is likely what's about to be happening. Here's Tiki Barber giving us the pick there. Appreciate that, Harvin, for the Giants. But we already knew that the New York Giants were obviously going to make this pick about 5 minutes ago because things have slowed down a little bit here with Andru Phillips, the D cornerback from Kentucky. So that has officially gone through. And now the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock, according to ESPN. We've known that for a while. So just to keep everyone up to date on where we are at right now.
Correct. Yes. And looks like we have that pick, I believe.
Do we?
I've seen one. I'm just double checking. It looks like they're going O-line. But let's see, we're refreshing to get a second.
Vitali just joined to ask who won the jersey. Who was the random spinner? It wasn't Vitali. I don't recognize that name.
Unfortunately, no. It was Matthew Eakin.
There you go.
So
we're reaching out to those people as well. So, who won the jersey? Matthew Eakin. Oh, it's the same person. Sorry, Vitali. Sorry.
Matthew Eakin and Kevin Lemos. Although, hey, actually, Vitali, actually, I should probably clarify. In case she's talking about, because I did a giveaway in the show that I did today. So we haven't done that yet. We haven't done that one. So in case
That's
you were
right.
talking about that also is going to happen. So
That one's
sit
coming.
tight.
Yep.
We will draw for that. Just not quite yet.
All right, so Cardinals go offensive line. Have we confirmed that the Eagles the Cardinals have gone offensive line? We're back to Carolina now.
Yes.
All right, Cardinals are off. We go back to the Panthers, who are back on. Okay, so we are on 72 right now, and the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock here very, very shortly.
There you go. Isaiah Adams out of Illinois for Arizona, and see where Carolina can go. Curious to see what Dallas will do. We're getting close, getting to the 78. Jacob Ashley, appreciate the 2, says, I want Peyton Wilson for picture day shenanigans. It's he looks, the first time that I saw, the very first time I saw Peyton Wilson, it was at the Senior Bowl, and I think it was, I can't remember who was interviewing, but I saw it and I was like, man, is that Goddard there? Like, it was just a real quick, like,
looks just
skim
like
through it, and it was kind of like, what's he
him.
doing at this? And you're like, whoa, okay, that's actually, no, that's Peyton Wilson. But yeah, at first I was like, you talk about the similarities of Bryce Huff and Boston Scott the same way for Peyton Wilson and Dallas Goedert.
It's scary. Like they are very, very close. Very, very close. All right, Panthers pick is in. I don't have that one yet on who it is. Do you have that one yet? Do we know who it is? I don't think we do.
Let's see.
Oh, it's Trevin Wallace, the linebacker from Kentucky.
There it is.
Wow. Okay, so a linebacker, not the one that we would have thought would go first. But a linebacker is again off the board here for the third round with the Carolina Panthers. Okay, I was trying to see if I could get another update on that, but it looks like it's official. Okay, linebacker off the board for the Panthers, and that means that we are looking at a couple of linebacker options that are still available. So if Trevin Wallace from Kentucky is gone, that means Peyton Wilson, Cedric Gray, and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. are your top 3 remaining according to ESPN. I tend to agree with that list. I think you would put Trotter Jr. at 3. I think Peyton Wilson is the best option right now if you wanted to get the best linebacker available for Philadelphia. But again, what do I know? We're in the third round. It's a crapshoot anyway at this point. So let's see what happens as we wait for the Cowboy pick, which is happening here pretty soon.
I would say, I know this is going to get a lot of hate, but personally, I would take Cedric Gray over Jeremiah Trotter Jr. if I'm just talking about scheme wise and what he can do in coverage. It's I know he's not identical to Kobe Dean. I know he's not exactly the same there, but I would still say slightly above with the Cedric Gray. I'm not interested in Peyton Wilson, which maybe is the most ridiculous thing ever, and he ends up having a crazy career and is really good, but just the injury history and also the fact that it's already this far down in the draft and he hasn't been taken tells me that like more than enough teams sought out medical history and said, nah, not exactly interested. So that's kind of enough reason to pass for me.
All right. How about Zachary Barter saying the Cowboys drafting Trotter would be a spite move? Yeah, it definitely would be. And they technically could use a linebacker, so there is technically a case for that to happen. So we will wait and see with that one. But no, we are still currently waiting for the Eagles selection here, which is really 5 picks away. It's coming up.
Let's see. It is. Oh, we have I think we've got it.
The Cowboy one?
I think we do. John Machota is pretty tied into the Cowboys. He's announcing it. I don't see I'm looking for national ones to make sure. It looks like it'll be O-line if that's accurate.
Yes, it is. It's Kansas State's O-line. Oh, they're getting Cooper Bebe, aren't they? Is it Baby, or how do you say his last name?
I think it's Beeb. I could be wrong. Maybe it's something else. I think it's Beeb. But yeah, either way, they've doubled up on Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beeb, I guess.
Wow.
You needed it. They definitely needed it from the stance of either contracts they signed or did not sign and letting other players walk. So I would say the Tyler Guyton one to me, lots of potential, really athletic, but he's raw. So that one I was kind of like, yeah, it doesn't necessarily scare me as much. Cooper Beebe is that's a good pick. He can be incredibly physical, very violent. And, I know Mahler's used a ton for guards, but like he does have that part for him. So that's a pretty solid pick. That one should turn out fairly well, I'd imagine.
I like this from Michael Folke. There's also Troy Franklin, the wide receiver from Oregon, good wide receiver 3 value. That's very true. Very, very true. He is. He's got a lot of value there at wide receiver. I definitely see him as an option if the Eagles believe they need a wide receiver 3, which I'm not sure that they do believe they need a wide receiver 3 based on what they've done this offseason. They're just now giving us the Panther pick, and we already know the Cowboy pick, and so that means that we are currently waiting for the Falcon pick here at 74 as I get this one up on everybody's screen. There it is. Yeah, so they just gave us the Trevin Wallace, Kentucky linebacker pick to the Carolina Panthers. So that has been updated as well. And now we wait for 74 and the Falcons, and the Eagles inch closer. They're 4 picks away.
Almost there.
Man, people are saying the Eagles can trade back
it.
if they don't like anyone who's on the board right now. I think they're going to stay put. They've been trading up, or not up. Well, yeah, they traded up for one of their picks, but they've been staying put.
Yeah.
For the first pick, trade up for the second pick, and then now have a third, which they didn't have at the beginning of the evening. And so they might just be able to stay put and take the best player available, which
I would say so.
I believe the ESPN draft board. Your best player available right now is TJ Tampa, who's a corner. You don't need him. Then it's Peyton Wilson, Cedric Gray, Jaden Hicks, the safety out of Washington State, Jatavian Sanders, the tight end from Texas. You also have Jalen McMullen, Blake Corum available right now. That'd be a big-time shocker. Cade Stover, Marshawn Lloyd, the running back from USC, and Troy Franklin. There are options here. This feels like linebacker, though, at 78. It really does. It really does feel like linebacker.
Yeah. I don't know. The only part is, do they go defense first 3 picks? That's the only part to me. Does Howie Roseman stick with it, or does he say, nah, it's time to invest a little bit in the offense?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it with a linebacker, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. See where that ends up.
It is BB, by the way. I don't know why I kept saying Bebe. It's BB.
BB,
so.
Okay. All right. So I was
BB.
leaving out the extra E. BB.
Big 12 Offensive Lineman of the Year. Dallas trying to protect their quarterback, whether it's going to be Dak for the long term or Dak for the short term. That's where they're going with the K-State offensive guard. And now that means the Falcons go here at 74, followed by the Chicago Bears. This third round is wrapping up here pretty quick. I mean, we're going to 84, and we're here at 74. It's amazing how much faster it goes whenever you have 5 picks or 5 minutes instead of 10 minutes.
That is true. Yeah, they're flying through these picks. I think we have Atlanta's.
You do?
I think we do. I think there's the Draft Network put it out first. I'm still waiting for that second source to just absolutely verify, but looks like they might be going defense, if that's accurate.
I have not gotten a second comp. Yes, I have Braylon Trice at 74, the edge rusher. Yep. Okay.
There you go.
Falcons really quick get their edge rusher. They tried to trade back into round 1 for Latu, were unable to do it, and so they get another edge rusher, which many people thought they'd do at number 8 overall, but they decided to shock the world with Michael Penix, and so Atlanta has taken an edge rusher, and they get Braylon Trice at 74 there, and now that puts the Chicago Bears on the clock here as I update our ticker.
All right, there's a decent pick. I mean, I don't know. There's some other edge rushers that you could go with there, but Braylon Trice is. I mean, he's solid. He is certainly more of your prototypical, I guess, speed to power transition, bull rush. Solid at Washington, but you figure there's Adisa Isaac out there, Jonah Ellis. Jalyx Hunt, who I'm interested to see where he goes. Because Houston Christian, I know it's like you talk about competition, where they play, what schools, everything else there. But he's got a lot of potential in his game. And then also Javon Solomon, again, smaller school, Troy, but like 17 sacks last year. So the production is certainly there. But, hey, Braylon Trice, bigger physical end. You get your defensive player. That's not nearly, whether you like it or hate it, that's not nearly as terrible of a pick as Michael Penix. But they stuck with a Washington player, so you get another Washington one.
I was thinking, though, Trice was kind of a dark horse edge rusher option for Philadelphia at 78 if he would have fallen there, just because Philadelphia, hasn't got an edge rusher at all in this draft, and they're going to ride with Bryce Huff and feel really good about it and hope their defensive secondary is kind of the leader in that clubhouse, and their linebacker core in the middle of the football field plays a lot better. But I think Trice would have been maybe an option in a couple of picks for Philadelphia, but Falcons take him. I think it's a solid option, and now they still try and do a little damage control on the quarterback selection there at number 8. So we will see what happens with that. Chicago Bears are on the clock right now, and we are waiting for that pick to be in. They have not announced that one yet, by the way. So we have not had that one announced.
Still so wild that they went with quarterback at 8.
Pretty crazy.
And I've had the comments, several actually, on the video today, and I'm sure that you've had similarities, right? I mean, just, line of thinking. But it's a little bit different when you talk about trading up, or not trading up, but selecting a quarterback at 8 when you paid your quarterback $100 million plus,
$100 million bucks.
You have because the similarities become automatically like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, right? The comment was Aaron Rodgers behind Brett Favre, Jordan Love behind Aaron Rodgers. But those guys were drafted 24th. Aaron Rodgers was 24th, and Jordan Love was 26th. That is a drastic difference, as we all know.
Big
difference.
Just,
it's like that's a drastic difference of what you're selecting. A top 10 player should come in day one, be a game changer, and you maximize that 5-year contract or the 5-year option. Whereas, how long does Penix sit? And even the comment from the GM of Atlanta, he says, if he has to sit for 4 to 5 years, that's a great situation. That means we're getting good quarterback plays. Are you serious? Like, come on. You don't draft your quarterback there at 8 and say, yeah, there's the likelihood that, maybe he is still sitting in 4 to 5 years and we're good at quarterback. That's just, it makes no sense.
The Bears have selected their pick. We don't know who it is yet here, but they have officially submitted that pick. We got to wait for the commercial break for the ESPN in terms to go ahead and give us that. That means Denver is about to be on the clock. Do you have it?
I've got it from 1. I'm waiting for the second, but the Draft Network, the Draft Network's been on it. Let me just say this: out of all, Twitter today so far, anyway, whoever's running the Draft Network social account has been, I think, the first one.
Well done.
So
I have the Broncos next pick, so I'm surprised we don't have the Bears pick somewhere else here.
I believe they're going tackle. If this one is correct, they've got Amagaji. I'm waiting on just a second confirmation.
Okay.
But it looks like... Yeah, I see what you're talking about for the Broncos. Yeah, theirs is already... It looks like it is. It looks like it's... there's a second confirmation. So Kieran Amagaji to Chicago. They get their tackle.
Okay. And then Denver seemed to be pretty quick with this next selection at 76. I think it's at the edge rusher, Jonah Ellis.
Yep.
Who's son of Luther Ellis, the former Bronco, and one was a team captain, the Super Bowl 50 team, according to a local reporter. But I have Utah edge Jonah Ellis going to Denver at 75.
And brother of former Eagle Christian Ellis and Noah Ellis. And the Ellis family just lives on. There's a lot of football genes in the Ellis family.
There you go.
One pick away, baby. We've almost made it to 78.
Almost made it.
Stuff 23 is asking, how did we get to 78? I don't know if that's like how did we get to 78 because it's been so quick and fast like we were talking about, or it's how did we get to 78, like what's taken place and where we're at.
Right.
Just to make sure if it is a legit, they're getting comments actually in the comment section to answer that. But yeah, we traded. So traded 50, 53
yes.
to get 40, Cooper DeJean, and then we got 78 back. Also 152 because we had to give up 161 as well. So we shall see.
Okay, they're waiting for the Bears pick on ESPN, but they are getting close to giving us Denver's pick as well, which we already know is Jonah Ellis, the edge rusher from Utah. So here's the Bears pick on ESPN, and then they're going to immediately probably throw the Broncos pick up there at 76. Looks like it's Peanut Tillman doing the selection as well. Gotta like that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. He used to stop by the ESPN Central Texas station every once in a while. That was
okay.
Some good old days with you remember Smokey and everything. That would
of course.
Oh yeah, that was pretty fun. He's a good guy.
Yeah. So there was the Yale tackle again. Probably an option for Philadelphia at 77 if they wanted to, but not the case right there. And now we are going to go ahead and throw the Las Vegas Raiders on the clock. Where are my Raiders on? There they are. There the Raiders are on the clock now, and we are one pick away from Philadelphia.
Man, come on. Who is this going to be? Who's Vegas going with, and then what does that leave us with? I mean, there's you're going to be able to take your pick, like you mentioned earlier. Assuming that they don't go there, you could have a Jeremiah Trotter Jr., you could have Cedric Gray. If you want to take an offensive weapon, I mean, do you look at receiver? Johnny Wilson was brought in for a top 30 visit, 6'6", 230, ran a 4.5, 37-inch vertical. I mean, lots of like on the offensive side. Do you take a running back in a Marshawn Lloyd who got a top 30 visit? You just kind of run down the list of who got a top 30 visit with the Eagles and who did not.
Right.
Jatavian Sanders, tight end feels still way too early. He didn't get a top 30 visit, but he got a Zoom meeting with them. So tight end there. I don't know. That'll be interesting.
All right. They are giving us the Broncos pick right now on ESPN, meaning that the Raiders are officially on the clock, I believe. Yes, they are. Okay.
We've got the pick for the Raiders. We've got the pick, so we should be on the clock now. Jordan Schultz has it here. And there's another one to be official, it looks like. Okay, so it's a tackle for the Raiders.
Wow, another one, huh?
Maryland Delmar Glaze to the Raiders.
Okay, we're starting to get down to the bottom of the tackle barrel, aren't we?
Yeah, just a bit, just a tad.
So that would mean that the Philadelphia Eagles technically are officially on the clock, correct?
Let's go. We are on the clock, and who do we go with?
Okay.
What
do we do here?
Do you
Linebacker? Is it someone else?
Do you get more picks? Is Howie going with this thing? Oh my gosh! All right.
Oh, the Eagles have traded back. All right.
Oh,
so much for
quickly.
that. The Eagles have traded back with the Houston Texans. So the Houston Texans are now on the clock. Well, that was
Very
fun for about 4
so,
seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Way to go. All the hype and everything. Do we have the picks yet? I'm refreshing. Do we know what the trade is?
No, we don't. Nope.
Please don't tell me that we traded back and we're not going to select tonight. Like, at least tell me it's a trade back and we can
I
at least
think the Texans had a third. I think they had
a
third.
They did have 86.
Here it is, 86 and 123. So the Eagles will still have a pick 6 picks from now. So there you go.
Wait, that's the trade?
86 and 123.
So we got bad. 2 for 1. That's not bad at all. No, I'll definitely take that. I love the range too, because we were saying like, that 120-ish range, you can go get guys. Muhammad Kamara might even be available there. You do have the other selection.
Okay, so 86 is the new home for the Eagles. You got to wait
a
little bit longer here.
I can live with that.
We're going to get another one tonight.
Point, but let's go, baby. We can live with this. 86. Yep, like Andrew says, 86, nice, and we grabbed a 4th. Yes.
There you go.
That's why Howie's so good.
So you still are going to have, 6 picks tomorrow now, though, right? I think you're going to have 6 total.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, Jim Plunkett is giving us the Raider selection on ESPN. Welcome to 1,000 people watching right now. If you're not sub, hit the sub button. We get to 1,500 likes as well. That would be pretty awesome as we wait for 86 now for the Philadelphia Eagles. But the Raiders have gotten Delmar Glaze, the tackle out of Maryland. That one is officially there. Feels like the Eagles trading back means they wanted one of these tackles and were not able to get them. So that seems like why they wanted to go ahead and back out of there. I like what I'm the Senate saying. I think Trotter right now at 86 because you move back a little bit because there's been a little bit of a stall on the linebacker run that happened a little bit earlier. So 86 and 123 is what Philadelphia is going to get. They get a later third and they add a fourth now. Running back Lloyd, Marshawn Lloyd at USC could be an option as well. That's a possibility. As ESPN has not even told us that the Eagles have traded their pick yet, but they are about to go ahead and do so. I seem to have lost you. I do not hear you. Yeah, I've lost you for a second there. So you figure out your
Test. Can you hear me?
There you are. You're back.
Good?
You're back. Go ahead.
Weird. Okay.
Tell us what you were going to say.
You're working with some technical difficulties. Tonight has been a night of nights.
It has been.
We'll just say that.
Been.
So, yes, but what I was trying to reiterate was obviously with the picks, we talk about trading back in that situation. There's so many different areas where you could go with this draft, but to me, Howie's talked about it so many times, it's a scenario of if you have a lot of options where you say, hey, we have 5-7 guys at the top of our board available, and we don't have one that just jumps out to us. It's like, oh, we could go here, we could possibly go here. Then you trade back and you get a little bit more capital. And the fact that you gave up some to go get Cooper DeJean, you essentially, recouped it, no pun intended, but like you get the situation of now saying you have 6 selections tomorrow. We're still at 86. I think it's great.
There you go. And we are, we're 6 picks away. The Texan pick is in. I'm waiting to see exactly who that is going to be. What was the Eagle pick? Is now going to be, let's see, do we have who it is? No, I do not have who the Texans pick is yet.
I'm still not seeing it here.
Nope.
And then
do not have it yet.
After the Texans,
the Colts have traded up. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Colts are gonna be up.
Okay, so we do not have the Texan pick. Wonder who it's gonna be. Gotta get these reporters on it.
By the way, while we're waiting on the Texans pick, the other theory that I was going to throw out there is, we talk about anytime there's very close proximity on selections, it's natural that you don't necessarily double dip and take players really closely. You take a look at the picks the Eagles have, you've got 120, 123, and you have 171, 172. So I would very likely suggest that tomorrow you might see one of those 120 or 123 combined with a 171 and try to move up, say 10 selections or so, or however much you could actually move up into maybe that early 100 range. So Howie is obviously going to be, busy. We know he's going to trade, but it does give you a lot of flexibility because you've got those selections.
I don't know why we don't have the Texans pick yet. We don't have a Texans pick at all in terms of what's going on.
Yeah, you would think that we'd have it already. So. Especially with a trade. Let's see.
Yeah, we still don't have it.
It's funny because I think that this time period of the draft, becomes it's still important about selections, but it's not like, hey, let me get the news out first of who the team takes. It's almost like trades mean more. So we've got I'm looking at 7 or 8 different breaking news. The Cardinals did this trade with the Colts, yet no one's following up with the Eagles traded, but who did the Texans trade up to go get?
I don't see.
And we're just going to glaze over it.
Literally, it's not on the board yet.
I know. This is one of the first times in forever that we're going to have to just sit here and watch the pick.
Let ESPN tell us TV. 5 hours later. They're very slow with it. That's for sure. All right, they're walking the Texan pick out. We're all going to find. We are going to find out in real time.
Oh, okay. I like that.
How about J20 says, thank goodness for you both. My kids took over the TVs to watch Miss Rachel. I can watch this on my phone. Yeah, I think Josh knows a little bit about Miss Rachel as well there, so we got
Maybe
some
just a
sympathy.
little bit. Yeah,
There you
I
go.
feel for you, bro. Like, just appreciate you joining us, but that is my world quite a bit. So I feel for you. Miss Rachel's a lifesaver, though. Let's be honest. Let's give a shout out to Miss Rachel. For any parents, you absolutely know that. But hanging out here, absolutely.
Kalen Bullock, the safety out of USC. There you go. Kalen Bullock is the selection there for the Houston Texans. And so we can finally get that off of the board here and throw the Arizona Cardinals back on the clock at 79. Although, wait, that was the Colts pick. So this is going to be the Colts pick following the trade. Make sure I get this right.
Yes.
So we had a trade, and now we go to the Indianapolis Colts, who are now up on our screen. There we go. All right, so we're now 7 away, from the Eagles pick. Hopefully, we hope it's the Eagles pick. We got duped this past time with a trade.
Yes. And don't worry, for the people that believe that we are behind TV, we are not.
We're well ahead.
We're very well ahead. It's just that they didn't tell us for a long time. We've got the pick for the Colts. It is in. It's a tackle.
They're on offensive line again. Boy, massive run on offensive line. They're all going to be gone.
Matt Goncalves.
Jeez, I do not even recognize that one.
That is the Pitt offensive tackle. The Eagles were interested in Matt. He's one of those that they visited pro day, showed some interest, but they took Goncalves. That's fair. I mean, in terms of just tackles left on the board, I think that's one of your, I guess, one of the last remaining decent options. I will say that. So I'm starting to wonder, is Howie Roseman going to end up taking that?
People are saying that 86 is gone. 86 is not gone. 86 is what the Eagles have up next. Am I wrong about that? 86 is what we traded back for. Why are people saying 86 is
we're
gone?
Listed there at 86.
Not sure. I'm not sure.
Miami's pick is forfeited, so maybe that's where they're talking about. But I don't know that it's. I mean, it's still like there's still a team going to take a selection at 86. Like we're there at that spot.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we're saying there. Roman with the 5. Never heard someone speak with as many unintended puns than Josh. I'm not joshing when I say that. Pun intended. There you go.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Roman.
Someone is saying we traded 86. Did the Eagles trade 86? There's no way.
No, you didn't automatically do that. Surely not.
The Bengals are on the clock now, and they have the pick ready to go. Boy, it's amazing how fast the third round goes here. Where are we seeing that we traded out of 86?
I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, I don't think that's that.
Well,
the draft tracker shows Colts at 86. So that's the draft tracker. But that's not – I don't think that's correct, right? Oh, TJ Hushmanzada giving you the Bengals pick. There's little TJ. The Birds traded a third rounder, which would have been 86 to Houston last year. Now the Eagles deal 78 to Houston for 86. That was 5 seconds ago from multiple insiders. So they still have 86. I know the NFL page says we don't have 86. The Eagles still have the 86 pick right now. Let's make that very clear.
Right.
Ooh. Jermaine Burton goes to the Cincinnati Bengals. Yes. There's your T. Higgins replacement there, most likely. Okay, so they get the Bama receiver at 80.
Seattle just selected.
Jeez, we're going so fast right now. Okay, so Seattle.
Yes.
So Seattle at 81, and their pick is in right now. Okay.
Yep.
Do we know who it is?
It is Christian Haynes, guard out of UConn, and that's a really good pick. I'm surprised that he fell so far to 81, but you add to the trenches. That's also another name we could speak of as far as Stoutland showing some interest. The Eagles went and attended the pro day. I guess it was UConn's pro day, but he was there along with Kieran Amagaji, and there was one other guard. I'm drawing a blank of who that was. I think was Christian Mahogany there? Maybe not. There was one other guard that showed up at that one. So, but Christian Haynes to Seattle, and the Cardinals are on the clock at 82.
Yeah, so everyone's saying it's a glitch in the app that is showing the Eagles not having 86. They do have 86 overall. So just so we're
Okay,
clear, I thought I was
cool.
crazy there for a second. I was like, well, what did we trade back for at
I know.
78? And then,
We just
yeah,
gave it away. We're just going to
there you
take
go.
123,
There
and
you
that's
go.
all. But as we know, as tonight has, we've lived through it and experienced, technology is incredible when it works. When it does not, it's incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, and my ESPN draft tracker shows Philadelphia at 86, by the way, for people saying that it's not. We do have the 86 pick. What is going on here? This is crazy. The amount of people tell me we don't have 86.
I know
We
the
clearly
people
have
that
86.
don't believe it. Like, what do you?
We have 86.
I mean, you could choose to believe it, I suppose. Did we land on the moon? I don't know. You could argue that, but we do have pick 86. That's not arguable. It's not non-negotiable. The Eagles' social account has posted it. Every beat writer that follows the Eagles have posted it. The account of the trade up that we had. I mean, the account of the Texans announced it as well. There's no one else. It's clear.
Wojak Horseman says NFL intern must have fallen asleep. Still shows Colts for 86. See, yeah, that's what's happening. But I like how people think that we're just wrong. They just assume that we are not correct.
I mean, to be fair, like if I'm looking at an NFL account and then just like live stream with us, love us to death, very biased, but it's a fair question. However,
sure,
as we've put up on the screen and shared and everyone's seen a number of times by now, there was a trade that happened and we do have 86.
Josh, what are your thoughts on Cooper DeJean? Ryan Fleming's just joining. He wants to know, do you like Cooper DeJean at 40? I think the easy answer is yes. The easy answer is yes.
For sure, yes. And hindsight's 2020, so even more so, I like the pick because of the trade. You're recouping picks. You get the situation there, like we talked about. I mean, depending on where you rank someone, but Cooper DeJean, first-round talent. PFF had him as number 8 on their big board. Regardless, he was still really high. And so if you're able to get a guy like that at 40, Quinyon Mitchell fell into your lap. You're able to take a cornerback there. You bolster the secondary, and then you're able to get more picks and selections because you trade back. It's an incredible draft. Great picks. So far, I'm excited about it. We're about to come up again at 86. James Carver, appreciate the 2, asked what picks did they get for 78, and that was 86 as well as 123. And so you have now, six selections tomorrow. Yep. So there you go.
I'm going to run and refill my water while we wait for this pick. So I'll be right back.
Cool. All right. Let's make sure and get updated here because we were talking about those, but there's some other picks that came in for the Cardinals, which was Brian. Appreciate it. I think you had it first. I'm double checking. Tip Ryman, I believe, is how I pronounce that, but tight end. So the Cardinals adding another weapon. That's interesting for a tight end all the way down. I mean, I don't know, you have Jatavian Sanders, Eric All, Kate Stover, Jaheim Bell, but they're going to go with the Illinois tight end. So at 82, he goes to Arizona. Now the LA Rams are on the clock. Forever Keen Coop, if we don't get Trotter Jr., this draft is a fail. Come on. Do you really, I get like hyperbole and overkill. Do you really believe that? If we don't get Jeremiah Trotter Jr., this draft's a fail after Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean? Like, be honest. Come on. Even if you're very high on Jeremiah Trotter Jr., I totally get that, but you can't say this draft is a fail. The draft is a success. Sturdy asking about the jersey giveaway. We have not done it yet. We're going to do that. Someone will win the jersey, but we got to get to the Eagles pick. So after the Eagles, we'll do the giveaway. I'll announce it also, and we'll see where that ends up. But nothing official at the moment. right, who is still available here? Check-in. I don't think we've got the next selection yet after the tight end. Totally don't. Oh, actually we do. Here we go. The LA Rams are going to take a running back. I still don't agree with the Cardinals tight end selection. That one's very strange. But the LA Rams are going to get Michigan running back Blake Corum.
Really?
At 83. That is
the Rams, not the Chargers, huh?
Addition. Yeah, and out of I don't know. That's a strange 83 third round pick, a running back.
Blake
you have Kyron
Corum.
Williams. You okay. Yeah, the Michigan one, Ethan. The Michigan Blake Corum. I'm not sure of another, but the Michigan one is going to the LA Rams.
Wow. Who
That's
is their running back?
strange.
Kyron Williams is not.
Kyron Williams won me the fantasy
that.
league last year. I'm like that. I know you want depth and make sure in case he gets injured and banged up or something like that. But
wow.
Okay. It's not as bad as Arizona's. While you were gone, I don't know if you caught it or saw it, but Tip Ryman, the Illinois tight end, the Cardinals took him. So apparently third best tight end in the draft. I don't know.
Ryman
it doesn't make sense to me, but hey, they believe in him. So.
All right, so that brings the Pittsburgh Steelers technically on our clock now, as we have welcome in 3,100 of you guys hanging out with us, watching the stream, and waiting to find out in about 3 picks, who the Philadelphia Eagles are going to go ahead and take. So you got to like that.
I mean, I will say, since the trade back, and then you take a look at the names that have come off the board, fantastic trade. There's been no one that's gone off that I would be like, oh, shoot,
totally
we
agree.
should have actually drafted that player. So you picked up another selection, and it doesn't kill you.
Okay, we are ready to rock for the Steeler pick, which I do not have yet. Yeah, here's your Corum pick. Wow. With old Isaac Bruce announcing this one, huh?
Yeah.
We drafted Ben Simmons. You are giving me anxiety. We better have the 86th pick. We do, don't worry. Did I miss a super chat? No, I did not. Okay, I want to make sure I missed a super chat there. Corum, yeah, look. All the Detroit people are going crazy there, too. Wow, that's a big pick. That's one of those that you think is a stretch, but I mean, J.J. McCarthy, you can make the argument, was made because of Blake Corum coming out of Michigan. So there goes the running back out of Michigan to the same city as his coach in Harbaugh, but to a different football team.
That's crazy. I mean, he's a good player. It's just pretty surprising considering the makeup of the team already. And I guess if you want to have a two-headed monster in terms of running backs, then you go with that move. But and the draft gets wilder and wilder the later that it gets.
Yeah. So we are 12 picks from the end of round 3, and for wrapping up tonight, but we are essentially 2 picks away from whatever the Philadelphia Eagles are going to want to do with their final pick of the night. And we do not have a pick for the Steelers yet. The pick's not even in yet. Oh, there it is. We have the Steeler pick, I think. The pick is in. I'm seeing Matt, is it Goncalves? Is that you say his last name? The tackle out of Pitt.
He went to the Colts at 79.
Oh, well, then I'm seeing a fake news here. Yeah, no, yeah, okay. I'm wrong on that. That's why you wait for multiple sources.
Okay.
The NFL Rumors Twitter account is way off tonight. They I mean, nothing. I thought I'd recognize. There you go. Roman Wilson at 84. There it is.
That sounds more
there you go.
official.
That sounds
Correct.
a little more official. Yeah, that makes a little more sense. All right, so let's get the Steelers off of our screen, and let's go ahead and bring in the Cleveland Browns. Where are they on my little screen here? Come here, Cleveland Browns. Where are you? There they are. The Browns are on the clock, and that means the Eagles are on deck, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Eagles on deck, which is finally, at long last, the Eagles are waited a very long time from 78, it felt like. I mean, it wasn't that long, but still. So Roman Wilson at 84 to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the wide receiver out of Michigan. So we get back-to-back Michigan picks here, and now we wait for the Cleveland Browns to see what's going to happen there. If you're pumped for the Eagles draft pick, give the show a thumbs up right now. We'd appreciate that. 3,100 people tuning in between both of our channels right now. And if you've been waiting all night long to see who the Eagles' final pick on day 2 is going to be, we are about to find out.
Yes. See who they go with. The run of Michigan players, obviously, but one more selection and then we're back up. There's not going to be another trade back. This will for sure be the selection. Now we can't move back one more time. We've waited it out. You're going to get your selection in the 3rd round. See who Cleveland goes with. As soon as we get that, we're gonna know very quickly options of what Howie could do and who he wants to draft. Let's see, nothing official yet.
Okay.
Still waiting on Cleveland.
Here. All right, the Browns pick is in, which means we will have the Eagles on the clock here shortly. Do we have the Browns pick yet?
It's got to be because they're coming up. They're on the clock, but I'm trying to refresh it to get a name, and I haven't seen it yet. Come on, where is it?
Chat from James Carver here. Tell Thomas to bring a bucket for below the desk. Get a Cooper DeJean jersey. He should have come here. McCormick, South Dakota, right guard. At least we traded back. What were the picks again? No, they're close to our OG numbers. Yeah, we got 6 tomorrow now, I believe. With the last one happening in just 1 second. We're about to put the Eagles on the clock, ladies and gentlemen, as people are starting to kind of chime back in. Yep. Thank you for checking back in here.
86 here, and then tomorrow 120, 123, what is it? 150. Was it 151 that we moved back towards? 151, and then 171, 172, 210. I think those are the official numbers. But there's lots of options.
Let's throw the Eagles on the clock. We don't know the Browns one yet here. Justin, we're not going to do that. Let's see. I do not know who the Browns is, but we do know the Eagles are officially on the clock because the Browns have made that selection. The Niners are on the clock now. I think the Eagles just traded back again.
You got to be kidding me. Did we really?
They did. Yes, they did.
Okay,
no
please
way.
Don't tell me that we're moving back out of this round. We have to pick tonight.
No, this would mean that it is happening tonight because the Niners are at the very end. The Niners are like 98, 99, right?
Oh, my gosh. Yes, but I just you just wonder, like, okay, how far back and what are you getting? 94?
Yep.
Okay,
Let's get the Eagles off the clock.
Say this. It's really just because I'm impatient. Because personally, as we just said, every name that just came off the board when you traded back, I can be like, cool, whatever, move on. Like, I wasn't interested. So, sure, you want to move back another 8 selections and pick up another draft pick? Yeah, I'm okay with that, except for my patience is not. I want to get a selection over with. My gosh, can we please?
Sykes says we jinxed it. Oh, man.
did.
Yeah,
We
what are
should
we
like
getting
just
in
wait.
return? We probably got their third. Hang on. Let me see if I can figure out exactly where we're looking at here. The Niners' next pick was 94. No, the Niners have, 94. So that means that we are probably getting 94. Is that confirmed yet? Let's see.
It's probably likely.
Let's see. Yes, 94, 132. So another fourth-round draft pick is what this does.
Oh my gosh!
So we've loaded up the fourth. So we're only 6 more picks away, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
8 more picks. If I can
All
do
right.
that. Sorry, it's late. 8 more picks. Okay. Oh man. All right. So who do the Niners want?
Can we just say this though? With all the selections, all the picks that you have there in that category, there's no way that you're picking at 120, 123, 132. A trade up early is going to happen. I cannot. There's not a world that I see that we start tomorrow and you don't immediately see a trade up, because it's going to give Howie an entire night to make calls and say, hey, what is it going to take to move up in this situation? He's going to take a look at the board, figure out who wants to go and target. I like it, but I'm just like, can we please get a pick? You know, like the patience is. Oh, I'm just trying to see. Come on.
DJ
Okay.
Hang on. DJ Tinoni said can't spell. Sub to both your channels. Or can't spell Howie without a dub. Sub to both your channels. Keep the great content. We appreciate that very much.
Heck yeah. Appreciate it, dude.
Jay's Pause. Welcome to Mott Gold Level. Appreciate that.
Oh, there you go.
And yeah, we're still waiting. Were you gonna say something? Zach Zinter, the Michigan guard, is who the Browns pick was. Okay,
got the official. So we have 3 straight Michigan players that went off the board.
There they all go.
I think that this is a given at this point, maybe kind of a foregone conclusion. The moment that we can not figure out who the next pick is going to be and there's like a significant delay, it means there's a trade.
That's
because
right.
every reporter forgets and they're like, I don't care who's going to be selected. I need to get the report out that there's a trade going on because people care about that more. So, all right.
Okay, so the 49ers are on the clock now. That was the Eagles pick at 86. We got 94 and 132 back. And we continue to, there you go. There's their trade. ESPN is telling us the Eagles have traded their pick. That's been the case for the past 2 times they've been up there. So, who does San Francisco want? That's the question now. Following Ricky Pearsall and Renardo Green, the cornerback from Florida State. The pick is in for the 49ers. Justin said he's no longer having fun. I'm not either. I really thought we'd be talking about a pick now, but now we're going to get the pick at the very end. So let's see here.
I did too. And Justin's Wolverines are going off the board to non-Eagles teams. So,
Interesting. Yeah, the Eagles have no interest in a Wolverine or in Wolverine players. I saw someone earlier, I think it was the horse guy, I forget his name. He mentioned that Howie probably wants to get somebody that feels like a reach, and so he keeps trading back to get more picks. That way it doesn't feel like a reach, and that would feel like Jeremiah Trotter Jr. The Eagles now have 94, 120, 123, 132, 152, 171, 172, and 210. In case you were keeping track there.
So I did a mock draft, that got posted publicly. I did tons of them that did not. But the ones that I chose to post publicly, there was one that I did that I said it was an absolute haul, and I got a bunch of draft picks, and I was told that there's no scenario, there's no world where Howie Roseman would draft 10-plus players in a draft. Now, it's still possibly, unrealistic, but if he continues at this pace of trade back, he's acquiring all these picks to make selections. So surely he's about to make a move here. He's going to take his player, trade up, use a couple of those to move up tomorrow. But he at least did acquire a significant amount of picks in that range of the 70 to 120-ish that we talk about. So there's still some value, some prospects out there that could make a splash.
Dominic Pooney is the pick there, the guard or the tackle from Kansas, and that puts the Cowboys on the clock now. So Dallas is back up here at 87. Philly traded back to 96. The Dallas Cowboys have immediately made a selection, and we're going to see who that is going to be. They got Cooper DeJean in round 3 at pick 73. So now here's their second, third-round draft pick. Let's see here.
Let's see. Did you say the Niners?
Yeah.
Pick?
It's Dominic
It was
Pumi. They got the
okay. Okay.
tackle.
Yep. Sorry, I
Yep.
was sidetracked. All right. So we got that one, and then looks like the Cowboys is in also.
Is it?
I believe so. It looks like they got a linebacker.
Which one?
It is not the one that we would have hoped to stay available. So thank goodness, right? But it is a Notre Dame linebacker, and it is Marist or Marist. Liafu looks like it has.
That's kind of interesting that they would go
Liafau. Yeah, I probably butchered that, but anyway, that linebacker from Notre Dame, that one.
Oh, Marist, I see it. Liu Fao. ESPN has him as the 7th best linebacker available, so hopefully they're right on that. All right,
Good.
so Dallas has not taken a linebacker that we assumed the Eagles cared about. I'll keep saying I'll go to bed if the Eagles pick 78, and here I am 1 hour later. Literally, Peyton. Literally. Welcome to the club. Yeah, I thought we'd be done.
That's a perfect statement for the draft, especially like night 2. It's like, okay, just as soon as they take this selection, we're good to go. This thing drags on forever and ever and ever. But remember, tomorrow could steal the show if we're thinking about it.
Let's see. Someone said I have a typo in my roller for Zach Zinter. Where is Zach Zinter on my roller? Did I mess it up? It's Zach
sure.
Winter. Yeah, that's autocorrect.
Okay.
Not believing that Zinter is a real word. I think I fixed it though. All right, so Cowboys are going for the linebacker. Thank you, whoever caught that. Marist Liu Fao.
I guess.
Foul? Maybe. We'll see.
Sounds
Someone
good.
said LOL ESPN rankings. Yeah, I know. We're just going off of what they said. Sorry. All right, so the Bucks are on the clock, and we are at 87. Geez, 94 seems so far away.
We've said that after every trade, and you just kind of keep on
wake
waiting
up and come back.
It's like, all right, hey, someone alert us whenever we are back on the clock.
Odds they use some of these extra picks to acquire a player from another team. Wide receiver, edge, linebacker. I love the content. Appreciate that. Keep it up. I don't think it's enough to go get a trade like that. I don't think that's a that's a thing. I'm just gonna say that right now. It maybe.
True. But at the same time,
it wouldn't be for a player that you really thought would be crazy good,
Maybe. I'm just saying, let's remember last year, day 3, the steal of the draft, the trade of the draft, DeAndre Swift, all of a sudden it's like, wait, what? Excuse me? We're trading and getting DeAndre Swift. So I wouldn't just say
That's a good point.
It's impossible. It depends, again, on which position we're going after, and we don't need a running back because we have Saquon Barkley. But I wouldn't put it out of the question, especially acquiring all these picks. So that's not a terrible comment. I would still lean towards kind of your assessment. I don't expect that blockbuster-ish type of trade, but yeah, you could package something perhaps.
All right, so we know the Dallas Cowboys have gone with the Notre Dame linebacker, and we do not know what the Bucks are doing. But I think I was a typo. I think that did the Packers trade up with the Bucks, or was I wrong on that? I thought it was the Bucks first, but it is the Packers who are officially on the clock here. Okay, so there we go for the Packers, and we wait for the Cowboys' next selection.
Okay, let's get this pick in. Come on.
Approaching 11 p.m. on the East Coast.
You're feeling it more than I am, but I am definitely feeling it. Okay, we do have the Packers.
Okay.
Running back. It is Marshawn Lloyd.
Oh, wow.
The Packers.
Okay, Eagles seem to like him a lot. That is not something that Philadelphia is going to be excited about. They get Josh Jacobs and they get another running back, huh?
Yeah, that one's interesting. I mean, you've got 3 running backs really at this point. So, I mean, I guess I don't fully understand that. I guess unless you're looking long term. which is fine, I suppose. But value, I guess they just didn't like anybody else on the board there. So I like Marshawn Lloyd's talent, but just the fit for the team itself and like how much is he going to contribute doesn't feel like as much, but who knows?
All right, now the Bucks are officially on the clock. Kristen Navarez with a 5. Appreciate you guys for everything you do. Love both channels. Fly goes fly. Appreciate that. Very much so.
Go Birds.
Someone said 7 p.m. here in Alaska, says Jim Carrey. Must be nice, huh? I would love for it to be 7 p.m. right now and not 10:46 East Coast Atlanta time. But what are you going to do? All right, 88 is done. 89 is on the clock now. We know the Packers have gone with a running back who, again, was an Eagle fan growing up and had a good time with during his top 30 Eagle visits. So, we'll see what that means.
Understandable. Andrew says he's dead inside. Yep. I understand. It's all right.
Packers are fleecing everyone, bro. Packers have had a pretty good draft. They have definitely had a pretty solid draft, getting Edgerrin Cooper, offensive lineman there in round 1. I'm trying to blank. What was the other one that they did? Is this their third pick, or did they have one more earlier?
Trying to think. Who was that? Before. Oh, wait. Do we have a pick? I think we might.
See it?
For the Bucks. Yeah, it looks like defense and double checking, making sure we have that second.
Yeah, I did not see it. Pick is in though for the Bucks.
Looks like safety. Tyke Smith.
Is it officially?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we had another one. So now we are inching closer.
Packers back on the board. Or I'm sorry, Arizona then
Tyke
Packers.
Smith. All right. So Tyke Smith. Oh, yeah, he's the Georgia DB.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we got Tyke Smith. And then we go back to the Cardinals. And then we go for the Green Bay Packers. So, okay. Let's go ahead and throw up here. Let me see here. Who do I need? I need the Cardinals. Jeez, I had like a total brain fart there. Cardinals.
They say Arizona's pick is in. Who are they going with?
That was quick.
It was quick. If we could do that, maybe several real quick and just...
We're 10 picks away from the end of this third round, so we're in bed before midnight Eastern time. You got to like that.
That is solid. Keep it moving.
Okay, so we know who the Cardinals... Well, sorry, we know the Cardinals pick is in.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have it yet? I don't see yet.
Reporters
Boy,
are really slacking now. We're starting to...
Yeah,
picks are flying, but the reporters are not
go to bed.
getting it out there near as quickly. All right, Elijah Jones, cornerback, Boston College. I like that pick.
Okay.
Feels... I should say I like him as his talent. I don't like the pick necessarily as early here. He's much better though than like what a lot of draft boards seem to have him at, because like everywhere that I took him, usually in the PFF mock draft, had him like late 6th round, early 7th round ability. So, you're taking a lot earlier here. Mock drafts are, take it with a grain of salt, but
sure.
He's got some potential, like his athleticism, playmaking ability. 5 interceptions last season. Pretty good, I'd say. Who was it? Jim Nagy, I think, was the one who said he's the defensive sleeper in the draft for him personally. So,
okay,
we'll see.
There you go. I think the Cardinals have had a pretty good draft. I think when it's all said and done, we're going to get the Cardinals draft and be very impressed with what they were able to go ahead and come away with. 20 here from James Carver. Those trade locks. Hopefully some are picked. MC McCormick from South Dakota. Meiji from Temple. And then, of course, the fourth from the 49ers. Maybe Jab Solomon, the edge from Troy. And I had to say Keelan's a good defensive lineman. Dallas was a good one. Okay, I think I read that right. Okay.
Yep.
The Packer pick is in.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, Nealon felt pretty solid. I like Solomon. Lots of production. A little bit undersized, but I like that. Not sure. I'd have to agree to disagree on the whole linebacker. I understand the thought, but I probably agree to disagree there. But then McCormick makes sense. I think that's really one of the last remaining offensive lineman options, that was linked to Philly and has some of the traits that Stout can especially utilize. So we'll see.
Okay, we don't have the Packer pick yet. Someone commented, "How did you guys go from being 2 picks ahead to being on tap with the with ESPN?" It's because all the insiders aren't telling us the tweets. That's normally how it works.
Yeah, they're literally, yeah. Nate, that's a pretty good one. Nate says you're gone from we're gonna hang out and have some fun to let's get this over with and go to bed.
Literally,
it's getting late and I'm super hyped, but come on, it is time to get this selection in here and get a little bit of rest so that we can wake back up and do it all again tomorrow.
Okay. Got it. I totally agree, and it's just getting a little bit slow here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Packers one is in. Linebacker Tyron Hopper. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's just interesting. You start seeing some linebackers come off the board, and the fact that Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is still there. Obviously, it's a massive thing with Peyton Wilson still being available because a lot of people were saying, oh, he might be the top linebacker if it wasn't for the medical injury concerns. Well, guess what? The fact that we're toward the tail end of the third round and Peyton Wilson is getting taken by Tyron Hopper and other linebackers, Maris Liafau and everybody else, it tells you all you need to know about his medical history.
Let's see. Jay's Paw, thanks for the stream. Been following since the early days. Thank you for dedicated content, Thomas and Josh. Are y'all streaming the draft tomorrow? We are not. We are not going to do 4 rounds tomorrow afternoon on a Saturday. We're going to spend some time with my fiance, and Josh will spend time with his kids. So we will break it down on our shows, but we will not be streaming the later rounds because it's a lot of people that truly names that you've seen a couple of times and not names that we really understand if they're good or not, because that's how the later rounds of the draft pick works. So
what time does it start actually? Because I was going to ask that.
Right? I think it's
it starts much earlier. I was just curious. Let's see, because I was halfway considering. I know you get into you catch yourself because then all of a sudden Howie trades back a million times and you're like, oh, I thought it was going to be picking 3 picks or 4 picks really quick, and then all of a sudden it lasts forever. But I was halfway considering that. I'm not gonna lie, but that depends on the timing of all of it. What is the time? Let's see. It's noon Eastern. Okay. So that's a very early start. Yeah,
earlier than I thought. All right, let's get this party. Let's get this show on the road, huh? All right, Packer pick is not announced yet. We're still kind of waiting on that. And then we are sitting here waiting for the Buck pick at 92, which we do not have yet. I do not believe. No, we do not. Okay. Yeah, so the Packers getting two linebackers is kind of interesting, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Edgerrin Cooper, and you're going to get Tyron Hopper. That's somewhat surprising. Knowing that they run a similar Fangio system too. I'm just going to say the fact that they're not taking a Jeremiah Trotter and being passed by guys like an Edgerrin Cooper, like a Tyron Hopper. I mean, I don't know. Just saying.
Right. I totally agree. It's coming up here quick, too. We're going to find out very, very soon exactly where they are going to want to go with this pick at 90. Was it 94 overall? It is 94 overall. Yeah,
Yep.
we're waiting on 94 overall. Okay. Let's just see if we got the next pick. We have not yet. Okay.
All right, come on. There it is.
You got it?
Jalen McMillan, Bucks.
Okay,
Wide
so
receiver.
Jalen McMillan is the pick there for the receiver. Yep.
All of the let's just say it's all of the beat writers, all the reporters, everybody else has either gone to bed and they don't care because they're not posting anything else, or there is some sort of massive trade that's going on that a team is trying to work things out, that they're getting extra info, because we've literally lost all sources at this point.
Yep. That is very true. Very true.
Come on. One more selection and then we're there. Who is it going to be?
All right, pick is in for Baltimore, and that means, ladies and gentlemen, the Philadelphia Eagles are back on the clock, which I almost don't want to say because they keep trading out of that spot. So will there be a pick at 94? That's going to be the question.
It will jinx it. Let's see. James, make sure to mention the super chat there. Appreciate the 5. Said at least Dallas took the worlds of 2 linebackers from Notre Dame. Bertrand was the that's true. Bertrand was the better one. He's like Meiji. He has greatest greatest coverage and run defense. That's true. Whenever at first I saw a Notre Dame linebacker, I was thinking it's going to be Bertrand. The fact that it wasn't, like, all right. I mean, I guess if you want Leofow, you could take him, but all right, come on. Who's it going to be? Who is it, Eagles?
Could it be Jeremiah Trotter Jr.? We do not have the Raven pick. I keep waiting to see if we have the Raven pick. We do not have the Raven pick.
Yeah, I'm not seeing Baltimore.
But we're going to go ahead and throw the Eagles on the clock because it looks better, because obviously that's the focus right now. The Eagles are on the clock. How about that? All right. We're getting close to the end of the night, and the Eagles are back with 6 picks to go. Okay.
Almost.
Why not just do Jeremiah Trotter Jr.? At this point, why not? Give the people what they want, right?
If you truly believe in him, then okay. But like, I just to
who do you want right here?
Crowd,
who do you want?
You know, let's see. Out of the options that I have available, let me do a really quick survey before they go in. You could go wide receiver. You could go tight end.
Troy Franklin could be really fun.
You could,
Jalyx Hunt could be interesting here.
Yep. I would say
Stover's available.
Don't
jinx it.
I know. I'm going to jinx this as soon as I say that. I might go with a Jalyx Hunt. Although I like the ability to wait later and get Muhammad Kamara, who I really like. So you could do that. But yeah, I think I might go that. It's either Mason McCormick or Jalyx Hunt. I think those two for me. Oh, it's in, I think.
Is it?
It's in.
Do we have it?
I think so. I'm waiting on a second, but it's a pretty reputable source. So
I need a second. The Bucks took Jalen McMillan at 92.
Yeah, it's official. There's 3 of them.
I don't have it yet. Hang on. Do you want to go ahead and make the announcement? Who is it?
If you want me to, I can.
I'm
It
not.
is. I got Zach
I don't see it.
Berman, Andrew DeCecco. I've got a couple different ones now. So,
Okay, hang
do
on.
we know who
I'm
Baltimore
refreshing.
took?
No, we do not.
So, whoever they
All
took,
right.
who
Yep, I
knows?
see it. I
But
see
yeah,
it.
there
Go
you
ahead.
go. That is it. So it's not Jeremiah Trotter. It's an edge rusher. You get some depth. It is Jalyx Hunt out of Houston Christian. So you're going to
Okay.
add to the pass rush depth. 6'4", 248, 23-year-old. And, we talk about the pass rush win rate all the time. He's right up there towards the very top of most guys, 19%. Now, again, the argument is, okay, play style, competition, who has he played up against and things like that. But
Sure.
it does make a lot of sense when you talk about the Fangio scheme, style of players. This is a bigger guy who can play on the outside, standing up, also down in the stance. I think that they see the athleticism because that's usually where Howie Roseman goes, and you get an athletic guy who can rush the passer. I don't mind this pick. I'm not going to say that this is up near the level of a Quinyon Mitchell or Cooper DeJean situation, but I don't mind this pick personally. You're at least adding some depth to the pass rush, which I think we all would agree you did want someone.
I think very clearly Howie Roseman liked this guy. He was very high on their list, but you couldn't take him, earlier there in the third round, and they kept trading back, knowing that he was probably going to be there and accumulate some extra picks for tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon. They have a ton of draft picks going there on day 3, and they get an edge rusher, and they needed an edge rusher at some point in this draft. Linebacker is still a possibility, and you got to remember, they can trade back up for Jeremiah Trotter Jr., and for the people who are upset about Jeremiah Trotter Jr. not being the pick here, he's not going tonight. He's going to probably go tomorrow. I mean, the Eagles were kind of his, beginning area. His floor was Philadelphia here at 94, and now that that's not happened, you now have a case where round 4 could be a Jeremiah Trotter day 3 sort of player, and that's mainly due to the fact he's a little bit undersized. It's very Nakobe Dean-esque, and there are still some other linebackers on the board right now that teams are passing on. So you got the linebacker from Penn State, Isaac, going to the Baltimore Ravens, and Jalyx Hunt going to Philadelphia there at 94. They get their edge rusher.
Right. And also, again, to the point of several people saying like, oh, what about Isaac? It was the fact that, yes, he went before. So even if Howie wanted him, the Ravens, to your point, took him on that side. But, again, like G. Hunter even said, it's all about being athletic with Vic Fangio. That's a huge piece of it. If you're going to be successful in Fangio's team, he wants bigger, more physical linebackers who can stand up, play in a stance, and are athletic and run around the field. And that's what Jalyx Hunt projects as. Number of scouting reports say that, he could turn into a very solid outside linebacker in a 3-4 system. That's what Philly's going to run. So it makes sense. It's kind of interesting because, how he's talked so long about like we have success with these bigger schools, all this other stuff. So like if I told you before the draft, Thomas, hey, bro, we're going to have a guy from Toledo in our first, couple picks, we're going to have a guy from Toledo and we're going to have a guy from Houston Christian. I mean, that's not exactly where you would expect Howie Roseman to go with. However, hey, you talk about the guys, the athleticism that they are, and let's just say this too, even though it may not be a Howie Roseman thing, it's also him showing growth and changing things up, right, wrong, or indifferent. It hopefully works out, but I think that tells you he's very much listening to Vic Fangio and saying, okay, you see these guys, you tell me, does this translate well? Will this work for your defense? Not a, here's who I'm thinking for this specifically. So I think this is a big Fangio pick. He likes what he sees out of Jalyx Hunt, so I think we got to believe it.
94th pick, Philadelphia takes Jalyx Hunt out of Houston Christian. Again, another one of these players who was a star, kind of a big fish in a small pond, and now they come over to the National Football League and can see exactly what happens there.
I'm excited. I like it. You get some more guys
5 years at Cornell is what they're saying. Jeez.
Ability.
46 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 9 TFLs, playing at Houston Christian. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
If they can find you, they will draft you. And boy, he's a physical freak in terms of size. I mean, he has everything you want in terms of the actual build. He's got a lot of speed. But again, the question is, running that 4.64, how does it work in terms of becoming an NFL pass rusher? That remains to be seen. You hope Vic Fangio can go ahead and make that happen. But I think so far, if you'd have told me we leave night 2 with Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and Jalyx Hunt, I think we'd all be signing us up for that very, very quickly here as the Bills pick is in at 95.
Yep, for sure. And also, I think to see some comments that are saying about announcing him as a linebacker. True, yes. I mean, in terms of a 3-4 system, he's an outside linebacker. And shout out to Andrew saying Daniel Jeremiah saying that Fangio wanted to coach him. So in terms of the speculation of how much input Fangio wants this dude, I think we got to believe it. I like it.
There you go.
Dwayne
All right,
Carter
Buffalo's
from Duke.
pick is about to be. Wait, who is this?
Dwayne Carter from Duke, defensive tackle to Buffalo.
There goes Dwayne. There goes Dwayne Carter. Yep. And now we go for Jacksonville and the Jaguars as they are getting close to rounding us up and sending us off to bed at 96.
All right, before we do that, we got to do the giveaway for the jersey that I mentioned.
That's right.
We might as well do it now because the pick has been in for the Eagles. Let me get it set up real quick. And then anybody who had entered Quinyon in that last video, good luck to you. I'm going to get the comments here. And you are going to have your shot at a Quinyon Mitchell jersey.
Good jersey to get.
Okay, let's get those comments. Wow, 1,042 people that commented on that. So there's quite a bit of options here for winners. The chances, let's just say, are fairly slim for someone to win this thing. Not impossible, but we're sitting at
who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
Less than a 0.5% chance. So
Samuel says, "Pick me, I never win." All right, we're going to see.
Unfortunately, I don't pick this thing. It's literally just randomized. But all right, let's share the screen. All right, you can see that good?
Yep, do it.
Cool. Okay, good luck, everybody. Got a very small chance, but here you go. And who will it be? The Quinyon giveaway. It is Mitchell. Hopefully a decent readable name that I can say. All right, okay, good. It is, well,
Body bags
mirror. I was gonna say at first it's like, well, at least it's not go F myself like the other person. Body bags mirror. Congratulations, you won the giveaway with Quinyon. I will contact you. Man. You have some time to get it. I'm gonna post it on the community page too, but I need your contact info as well. So hit me up, the Philly Special Show at Gmail. I'll send you a message on the comment section too, so you get that. But you guys got some crazy username. Let's just say that there are some wild ones out there.
I'll never forget reading your community note and seeing that go F myself had won the jersey. That was so funny.
Of course, of all the people.
So funny.
I mean, good gosh, like it's just, and of course you're right. Like out of all the ones to win, it has to be that name. It's like, are you serious?
That's definitely how it works.
It is.
All right, Jaguars pick is in. We're waiting for that to get things wrapped up here. And then we'll be wrapping up the third round just to make sure that Philadelphia doesn't come back up if they wanted somebody. That's kind of the reason that we're hanging out for a little bit longer, just to make sure that we are not missing out on any sort of Eagles pick. So that's important to note.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't see anything yet.
Also, appreciate everybody too I see several people saying good night, so I totally understand. Appreciate you guys hanging out.
Off. We appreciate you guys.
It was awesome. So great for y'all to stick with us, especially the technical difficulties. 3 times to restart as well. So
literally.
But we made it. We did it. What a night. And James, re-roll if it has a cuss word in it.
Yeah.
I should maybe make that like from here on out a rule. It's like, hey, sorry. Change it up.
All right. Still waiting for the Jaguars pick here. Oop, I'm having a little lag on my computer. Are you still there? Can you still hear me?
Yep.
All right. My everything else is lagging on my computer, but not I lost the draft stream. That's for sure. Wow, lots of lag. All right, I'm still here.
Interesting. Okay, I can still see you good. I can hear you good.
Yeah, but I lost my my draft stream is down.
Huh.
Oh, it's lagging a little more. If I
Okay.
drop, just know that it's at the right time. I'm really starting to
Yeah.
lag now.
Let's just say
Hang in
this
there,
right now.
computer.
If it does cut out, we're not restreaming for the last
No.
2 picks. So,
No,
you
we are
guys
not.
have a great night. We're trying to
It's
land
back.
this
It's
thing.
back.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Is it? Oh.
Nope.
Nope. It was for a second.
Trying to go to bed.
No, I'm not. I'm not faking this. I got the spinning beach ball of death on my Mac right now.
We do not need that. We
No,
do not
we had,
need that
we had
situation.
enough. We had enough. Oh, yeah, I got all sorts of craziness happening right now. Yeah, I'm flying blind.
Okay. It's an unusual position. It's definitely having some technical difficulties now because I'm seeing some of the struggle that's going on within the draft, but I can still see you and I can still hear you.
Okay, yeah, it looks like it's figured itself out, I think. I think it figured itself
Okay.
out. Yeah, because it's showing me the Bengals pick now, so I think it figured itself out.
All right.
Well, I say that, and I got the spinning beach ball back, so maybe I didn't.
Good luck.
Man.
We're wheels off towards the end. Hopefully we can make it.
We'll see. Yeah, it does not like it. I don't know what's going on here. All right, well, we're really close. Jesus,
Everything has been a top
crazy.
30 visit so far, by the way, too. Quinn Mitchell, top 30 visit with the Eagles. Cooper DeJean, top 30. Jalyx Hunt, top 30.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Could get receiver tomorrow. Brendan Rice, Johnny Wilson, top 30 visits.
Receiver would not be a bad idea. The Kentucky guy's he's still there, right?
The receiver?
Mm-hmm. Excuse me, the Oregon. Excuse me, Oregon.
Oh, Oregon, yeah. Yeah. It's kind of surprising. He's fallen really far. All right, 3 more selections. Steelers, Rams, Commanders.
Round it out. No, we didn't trade back in. Someone just said we traded back in. They're lying. Thomas, are you using your neighbor's Wi-Fi? No, I have gig internet. I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't have gig internet, so I don't know what the heck. It's the Mac that's really. The Mac's just had a really long past couple of days. Let's just say that.
Yeah, because we've never had these issues before.
Couple of days. There's McKinley Jackson to the Bengals.
Yep.
Come on, computer. What are you doing? Okay.
Yeah, see, the insiders, they stop announcing everything because then they just go to like the press conferences and talk about everything else. So,
That's right. Steelers pick is in here. They're really trying to wrap things up. Shout out to Super Chat from Karen Jones. Appreciate that. $2. Looks like my feed is starting to figure things out.
There you go.
Jalyx Hunt. Man, going to be very interesting. Senior Bowl guy, too. Very interesting. I can't wait to hear what the Eagles are going to say about him, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Apparently, Daniel Jeremiah, who's obviously very plugged in with the Eagles, says Fangio, it was one of Fangio's favorite players in the drafts.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, he got his guy.
Okay. Yeah, he got his guy. Daniel Jeremiah said that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
One of his favorite players in the draft.
Retweeted that too, so it's out there. But
there you go.
I guess if someone else said it, not sure I'd believe it, but obviously lots of connection there with Philly, so I would say he knows what he's talking about.
Okay, all right. That looks good to me as we continue to wait for the Steeler pick. Wrapping things up. Come on, Steelers, wrap it up.
Let's see. C24, like your shirt, Josh. I appreciate that. Yeah, you got the little, NFL blitz. Jalen Hurts.
Great show. Thanks, guys. Says Stephen Angel. We appreciate that. I don't know why my pick is looking all weird, but yes, we are waiting on the Steeler pick.
We got it.
And then bedtime. All right.
It is
Who is it?
Peyton Wilson.
Oh,
finally off the board. 98. Peyton Wilson goes to the Steelers.
Okay.
Draft
all right.
linebacker.
Peyton Wilson is a Steeler. Okay, so that means we're 2 away with the Rams being up next. Okay, the Eagles very clearly don't think that they needed a backer as crazy as we thought that they did, Maybe 4th round is where we're going to have to go.
Kind of feels like it.
Thomas looks tired. Yeah, I'm a little tired. It's a little late. Bet you because we did this all last night. Spidey, though, says, thank you for... Oh, I lost it. It went away. He said, thank you for being dedicated to giving us information. Got to be up at 4 a.m. for work. Have fun. That's going to be rough. Hang in there.
Oh, boy.
Hang in there. Have fun with 4 a.m. work.
We were up early this morning, obviously to get the shows up and prep for this and all that. But, yeah, 4 a.m., that's going to feel brutal tomorrow. Appreciate you hanging out, though. Stay strong.
All right. Peyton Wilson is in, and now we wait for the Rams to go ahead and wrap things up here. Remember how you're saying how fast the night was going? It was going very fast, and it has just died.
It is completely slowed to a crawl.
Yep, it is completely slowed down.
Rams pick is in. Thank God. We've got Cameron Kitchens, so we've got one more left. Okay. That's it.
Cameron Kitchens. One more left. And that puts the Washington Commanders in the final selection spot of the night. All right. Always fun doing the draft with you, Josh, as we're getting ready for this last one. 2nd year in a row. Numbers were huge. Bunch of fun night 1. Night 2 has been crazy getting Cooper DeJean and then trading back a lot. So fun stuff there. I appreciate hanging out with you. And obviously a lot more live shows to come. No live show next week. Because it will be it's my wedding week next week. So I am busy next week, and there'll be no live show. I think there's going to be no live shows for the next 3 Wednesdays. No, the next 2-3 Wednesdays, because I have a honeymoon too. So it's going to be a little bit. But I'll see you next week.
Unless you want to live stream from Croatia, you feel free,
Maybe. I can think of some better things to do on my honeymoon.
Yeah,
there's a couple better things to do. I don't know.
Maybe. Whatever. Y'all enjoy.
Go to dinner,
Sure. I'll have fun.
Wake up,
Thomas. I've had a
8:20.
really good time. It has been a blast. Seriously, dude. This is, and it's just bigger and better every single year. So shout out to you, all the stuff that you put into this draft. Insane. Literally insane. But shout out to everybody too else. Again, like we were saying, hanging out. It's been a blast. Crazy first 2 days.
Really
Eagles in great position, and tomorrow's going to be wild because you got so many picks to do a lot with. Either make the selections, trades. Who knows how he's going to do.
Someone said, wake up, Thomas. It's only 8:20. It's 8:20 on the East Coast. It's 11:20 on the West Coast. Welcome to the Ball and Chain Club, Thomas. Thank you. Happy to get my own, I'm very excited. Very excited. How many years have you had your ball and chain, Josh? How many years are you in on the Ball and Chain Club?
Oh, my goodness. That is the way to phrase that, too. Oh, that's so great. We're 7. Coming up on 7 is
7
wild,
years in the club.
That's
wow.
It's but it has been a blast. I mean, it is. It's crazy how fast time flies. I guess with everything, but the fact that we got 2 kids, it's just a wild season of life. We're surviving. There's moments that are just crazy. I don't know of a better way to describe those, but very blessed. Very blessed. Y'all are going to have awesome. Don't rush into kids. I will say that. Y'all enjoy. Don't feel like you have to hurry. But, when it's time, it's time.
There you go. We'll see what happens. We're going to find out. The Rams pick is in as we're about to wrap this bad boy up.
From personal experience, let me just say the we'll see what happens. It usually turns into pretty quickly. You're going to get kids.
Hopefully it's not like
good
that.
Luck, but
hopefully it's not like that. Okay, let me see. Where are we at here?
We have the pick finally.
Yeah, but we don't know who it is because all of the writers are just pretty tired.
Oh, there it is. It's in.
Who is it?
The Commanders take, Rice wide receiver, Luke McCaffrey.
Oh, wow. That's Christian McCaffrey's brother.
Yeah.
Luke
They're going to take
McCaffrey
Luke McCaffrey at 100.
Wow.
I mean, over a lot of prospects.
Yeah. Brendan Rice, Troy Franklin, Devontae Walker, Johnny Wilson still on the board. Wow. I guess his last name's McCaffrey. There you go. That ends it. We got the end of the draft with old Luke McCaffrey, huh? That's pretty fun.
Way to go. Way to go, Commanders. Good for them, I guess, if they want that. But yes, to your point, like you were calling out for all those different names, feels like there's a ton of other people that you could have selected there. So I like it for Philly.
What are you going to do? All right, we'll wrap it up right here with Philadelphia having, 6 picks tomorrow? It's a lot. It's a lot of picks tomorrow.
Yep.
We'll have the full breakdown after the draft. We're not going to be live for those 6 picks. We appreciate you guys being here for round 1 and round 2. And we're going to hear from all these draft picks. DeJean spoke to the media. Quinyon Mitchell got to Philadelphia tonight. We're going to have all that probably on our shows tomorrow. We appreciate you guys. And it was a heck of a draft, and it was fun going through a ton. 100 picks. 5 hours the past couple of nights, and Tim Pauly drops off a $2 draft super chat. Say thank you for the show and recap the upcoming picks. Yeah, here, let me just get the recap of the picks here. That way everybody knows exactly where we are going to be tomorrow. So they're surely going to trade. But as of right now, Philadelphia will have, if I can, I don't see them now. So do you have them, Josh? I don't have the picks. Oh, here we go. They have 120, 123, 132. So 3 in the 4th. 152, 171, 172 in the 5th. Those are 3. And 210 in the 6th. So no 7th right now. But yes, that is exactly where we are at. LA Kid, we'll see. We'll see, LA Kid. Okay. Who won the Quinyon Mitchell jersey? It was earlier. Just say who won that one more time.
Well, we've got a couple, but the Kevin Lemos and I can't remember the other one, but then we've also got the Body Bags Mirror because we've got some random names. But I'm going to good luck to, congrats. They did win. Good for them. But obviously, y'all know we'll have lots more every single year. The draft coverage gets bigger and better. So appreciate that. Shout out to a couple other last minute super chats. Also, I guess the Ethan for the 2. Thanks for the coverage. And then Way Truth Life, another 5. Says, Go Eagles. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him will live forever. God bless you all. Appreciate it. And gifted another membership. So
there you go. Good way to end it. Good way to end it. All right, guys, we're going to sign off. Enjoy night 2 of the NFL draft and enjoy day 3 tomorrow. For Josh Davis, I'm Thomas Mott. Go Birds. See you guys.
Go Birds.